James H. Reeve phone in.
For that lady to jump off a bridge with her son is absolutely, I find it absolutely, I've just lost for words.
Call now on 0161 288 0103.
My ferrets, I've got 2 ferrets and 2 dogs. Well, one of my ferrets tried humping a dog.
Really?
Yeah, tried humping its leg.
Call now on 0161 288 0103.
I went the other way and I got cross, I got really mad and thought, well, stuff you, I can do this, I know that you're wrong and I can do better than this for my kids, you know, and this is what I'm going to go and do.
Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Express yourself then, Dominique.
So you think you're a big man now, locking the doors, we can't get out. You beat my mama down because you're paranoid. Anything she does, you're just paranoid.
Call now on 0161 288 0103.
I've got a child, right? And if anyone ever hurt that child, I would say this, when they got released, I would personally hunt them down and I would end up in jail myself.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Right, that's your man. Oh, I sound funny, don't I? Oh, suddenly I sound better. That's nice for me. Good evening, Wednesday evening, James H. on Key 103, till 1. Once again, opening up the lively cut and thrust of topical debate and whimsical narrative, which is Key 103 after 10 o'clock at night. Thank you. A couple of interesting things in the news there, weren't there? I don't remember that item being on Supermarket Sweep, do you? I remember Dale saying fetch one of those back. What else is there? Terrible story about the pensioner. I know we normally... I think, am I right in saying that we've occasionally discussed Law and Order? I think we have. Casting my mind back, yeah. The pensioner who was robbed, that on the news. Actually, there's a story, at least as bad in its own way, from somewhere who, somebody tried to eat a pensioner, alive. Managed 2 or 3 bites before, something intervened. Anyway, there you go. Funny old world. I'm going to do the usual routine, you know, to get us going, and give you the phone number and what have you. If you've just joined us, if you're new to this, if you're thinking, perhaps if you've got a bit of disturbance on your wireless because of the unusual climatic conditions, and you're thinking, who's this erudite-sounding chap with the attractive voice and whimsical manner? Well, it's James H. Reeve on Key 103, that's who it is, and this is what we do. You give us a ring on 0161 288 0103, 0161 288 0103, and whatever you've got in your mind, we're more than happy to air it and solicit the views of other hillmans throughout the Northwest and the British Isles and the Benelux countries and the world. I know that because I've had to sign the disclaimer. So I'll give you the number, you ring up, you tell me what you think. I usually tell you you're wrong, unless you're not, which has happened, and so it goes on. Actually, when I put it like that, it makes the whole of life sound completely futile, but then again it is. So let's make the best of it. 0161 288 0103. We've got a number of items that we've culled from all over the show. Incidentally, we must begin with an apology, because if you go to the website, which is what you need to do to send us an email, which we do accommodate, we do allow for those, then go to key103.co.uk and you'll find our amusing website with full instructions as to how to contact me. And there is something, we must adjust it, because at the time, it seemed to be entirely appropriate, and that was calling the French coach, Raymond Domenech, calling him rubbish. It now seems that we formed a premature and incorrect impression of Monsieur Domenech, and must now acknowledge that he is a coaching genius and is likely to actually win the World Cup 2006. So it's all right. We'll edit the website. We'll doctor it. Right. But at least he's still in a job. Poor old Sven is having to, he's signing on, although he is still getting paid, apparently, for another 2 years. Brilliant. I tell you what, say what you like about the man, but his negotiating skills are second to none. I must get hold of his agent. Brilliant. Anyway, In amongst the lively debates, we'll have one or two observations from around the world, including conkers are getting smaller. I know the conquering fraternity will be interested in that, because we have people with all sorts of tastes, and interests in the private life. And in response to a number of requests, we will later, again, give the opportunity to hear that, whatever she was, that Flemish, I'll say Flemish because nobody's really sure what Flemish sounds like, except Flems, that newsreader lady pumping, because apparently it's very funny, so we'll do that. But topics for tonight, well, first of all, serious one, and it's back in the news again. Of course, we've now got 6 servicemen killed in Afghanistan in the past 4 weeks. It was in the southern province of Helmand, which apparently is where, which is the centre of the Afghan mayonnaise industry in there. Anyway, for a while, of course, because the heat was off in Iraq and Afghanistan was forgotten about, and we all assumed it had all gone quiet and all they were doing was burning all the poppies. Well, that's not right, is it? So we've now lost 6 British servicemen in the last 4 weeks, and there are 3,300 British troops there, and various people are saying, what are we doing there? We should pull out, we're making matters worse, and so on and so forth. The thing is, whether you consider the geopolitical situation, our relationship with our American allies, God bless them, the point is, this is British troops being killed. The sons, I think some women have been killed as well, haven't they? But once again, the sons of British people being killed in a foreign field. What can we do about that? As if Iraq isn't a bad enough mess. 0161 288 0103. And this is just to show that we cover all ends of the spectrum. In fact, I think we've even got a message about Big Brother later, just to show that we take it all in. This is interesting. In a survey, I love it when I hear somebody start something like that, I think, aye, couldn't be bothered to come up with anything. Well, that's not strictly true. We're very selective in our use of surveys. You notice we don't do the, what does your favourite soup say about you? We don't do that. But we've chosen this one carefully because, how many people did they ask? 1,000, which is about right. This apparently is a statistically sensible number of people to ask. 1,000 people questioned. 23% of men said that they would love to try a spot of cross-dressing and would exhibit a surprisingly feminine side if given the chance to spend the day as a woman. That's according to the findings. Right, 23% would choose to wear a floaty dress with a plunging neckline if they were allowed to be a woman for a day. 19% would be prepared to try on high heels. 20% said they would like to go on a ladies who lunch. Don't quite understand that. And a lot of it's rubbish, right? So there's actually there are things to look out for, particularly shaved arms, I'm told. But what about the other way around? Women given the chance to spend a day as men, their principal preoccupation was to find out what goes on in men's heads. Well, that's a bit rich, isn't it, eh? It's perfectly simple, straightforward, loyal, logical, considerate, attentive, with a good sense of humour. That's what men are all about. How dare women? Who do they think they are? Anyway, what we'd like to hear from this evening, and you may very well feel, not only that you wish to offer this information, you might think it's a heaven-sent opportunity to talk about it. Are you a man who likes, would like, has liked, and does like? I know the tenses are a bit all of a mess there, but it doesn't matter. You've got the gist of it, right? To dress up as a woman. If you've tried it, I know. How can I put this? Well, a friend of mine, that's safer. We've all had a dabble with a little bit of the makeup, haven't we? You know what I mean? Yeah. But as regards the actual frock, I think we're relatively few and far between. But it seems that British men have a secret desire are repressed. So if you've done some of that, or if you do it as a matter of course, 0161 288 0103. Talk to a Hillman in a minute. What else? What other staggering questions are we going to answer? Yeah, too late now, of course, but how we could have at least held our own against Portugal. Too late now to come up with the answer. Right? Taxi lanes, Maria Sharapova, that's enough to keep you going. And the question, why am I me? Now, I'm being deliberately enigmatic there. I've not made it clear what those are all about, so that has whetted your curiosity. Have you ever whetted your... I have. Then that will induce you to stay with us till 1 o'clock, because all those things will be broached on. 0161 288 0103. Oh, plus trumping newsreaders. 0161 288 0103. Go to the website, key103.co.uk. Stick a message on there, and we'll treat it with the respect or contempt which it deserves, because it'll emerge here in studio. 0161 288 0103, though, is the principal method of address. We'll talk to a Hillman about that, or about whatever you wish to bring to the fore. The choice is yours. These are merely suggestions from the heap. The rich rubbish tip, which is life, through which we ferret on a daily basis and come up with the odd nugget, the odd bit of tat that can be brushed off and brought back into service. 0161 288 0103. Hillman's joining us shortly.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103.
I got really mad and thought, well, stuff you. I can do this. I know that you're wrong and I can do better than this.
With stepping stones into work, advice and support to help you back into work. Key 103's £25,000 triple play. The false alarms are over. We're not playing at it anymore. Next time we do it, it's for real. We'll give away £25,000 cash. We've logged the songs into the computer. The timer is running. The countdown is on. Very soon we'll play the Sugar Babes Push the Button, Madonna's Like a Prayer, and the Stereophonics Handbags and Glad Rags. When we do, we'll pay out £25,000. Key 103's £25,000 triple play. It's getting closer and closer.
I went to Glastonbury and I can't remember a thing.
Glastonbury, bring it on!
I must have been there. I'm covered in mud.
Best festival in history.
Now it's all coming back. Radiohead, Faithless, Morrissey, Primal Scream, Scissor Sisters, the mud, the mayhem, the music.
Solstice. It's a label, man.
Glastonbury, the soundtrack to this year's 5-star Julian Temple film, out Monday.
Thank you so much. That was brilliant.
You know running's good, and raising money, well, that feels great. But running and raising money? Now that's amazing. Running 10 kilometres for Cancer Research UK is a fantastic way to fundraise for the UK's leading cancer charity. Whether you're running because somebody close to you has been touched by cancer, or you just want to run and raise money at a spectacular venue, entry couldn't be simpler. To join us at Tatton Park on the 24th of September, visit cancerresearchuk10.co.uk. The Cancer Research UK 10K. Together, we will beat cancer.
Dunnes Stores Better Value Sale now on. Hundreds of reductions in ladies, men's, children's and homewares. Visit Dunnes Stores, Times Retail Park, Haywood. Dunnes Stores, always better value.
To get free broadband forever, just answer this simple question. Can you find your way to the Carphone warehouse? See TalkTalk, their home phone company, will give you up to 8 meg broadband free forever with their new Talk 3 international call package. So you'll never have to pay to use the internet again. Sign up today at the Carphone warehouse. TalkTalk, free forever. One-off connection fee, line rental, fair use, minimum contract terms and conditions apply, subject to availability.
Out of the saddle for 15 minutes now. I've been down for all 27 gears. I've nothing left. Thighs are on fire. It's all the fault of the decathlon sale.
With over 70 sports catered for at rock bottom prices. Be careful. You could come in for a football shirt and leave a fully equipped cyclist. The Decathlon Sports Megastore Mega Sale. Just off junction 1 of the M60.
I hate the Decathlon sale.
Oi, you lot done yet? Me and the girls are just putting the finishing touches to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre. Come on down and find out more about Rockwool Flexi, the fantastic multi-use insulation product with a unique flexible edge. You'll get a free bacon butty and a mug of tea just for turning up. And you could enter our lucky draw and win prizes worth a total of 15 grand. Can't be bad, can it?
Bill, we need you.
On my way. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Get down to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre.
Nobody trained you in how to be caring and sensitive, and you didn't go to lessons to learn how to be kind and organised, which is exactly why Bupa want you to join their team of telephone member service advisors. You provide professional care and support for customers, helping them to understand their policy details and potential treatment choices. For more info and details on how to apply, call Bupa now on 01908 356 540 or visit bupamembershiprecruitment.com.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
I may have omitted to mention, largely because I'm not fussed, but you can text the station on 63103, and it costs you something, but I had it written down. I can't find it now. No, it doesn't matter. But here's one. I'd love to play Conkers in stiletto heels and a chiffon evening gown. Ooh. Any opposition out there? Well, there we are. You reply direct to us. I won't give your number out because, you know, there are some funny people knocking about. We'll see if we can fix you up. Right, we're going to Prestwich to begin with. Oh, our first punter this evening is from Prestovich, and it's Paul in Prestwich. You're on Key 103, Paul.
Hello, is that James?
It is, Paul.
Hello, how are you?
Well, I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I was just calling you. Basically, I'm under the Mental Health Act, and I was wondering if I could talk to you about some of the issues.
Yes, of course you can, Paul.
Would you mind?
This is the Forum of the Air.
Right, great. Okay, well, basically, I was, a few of us, we've been sectioned from the prison sector.
Hang on, just for anyone who's never undergone that experience, that's being detained under a section of the
Mental Health
Act. Yeah. And there are various types, but principally, the effect's normally the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are detained
under the Mental Health Act.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I just wanted to call you just some of the issues that I've come across, and I don't find them very good at all.
Then let's be having them.
Okay. The first one is when I came in, I was having an argument with the staff, and the staff jumped on me and decided to inject me with lorazepam, and told me basically that I needed it to actually calm me down. Just for arguing with them, they claim that it was a mental illness, and they've done it a few times on other patients as well. So I've had an argument, you know.
When you say an argument, what do you mean exactly?
Basically, over, trying to get out for fresh air. You're lucky if you get 20 minutes a day these days.
I dare say, but when you say you are having an argument, what form did this argument take?
Well, I was arguing with them, and then basically they said that they took it as aggression, and basically restrained me and injected me with lorazepam.
Right, and were you being aggressive?
No.
Can you tell us what form the argument took?
In what sense?
Well, what happened?
It was basically they wanted to throw a big party over my birthday, basically, and I didn't wish for that to happen, and that, so I was a bit like I asked them politely, I said, look, I don't really wish for that to happen, so I started arguing about it, and then a few staff ran over, and then basically restrained me and injected me with lorazepam.
Yeah, well,
basically.
Each time you tell us this bit, Paul, when it gets to the part where you say arguing, you don't give us a lot of detail there.
Yeah.
Now, what type of an argument was it? I've used the expression "what happened." I can't really think of a better way to put it. Really, what actually happened? Did you become violent?
No, I didn't. No.
Then, how did you argue?
I said I swore. I said this is a bit of a effing joke and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they said they turned around and that they took that as aggression, basically.
And that's what you said. This is a bit of an effing joke. And the next minute, the staff dived on you and injected you with a tranquilizer.
That's right.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
There was no raised voices.
No. No, not at all.
No, there was no gesticulating. There was no physical contact with anyone.
No.
Right.
No, not at all. And I'm just wondering, people. I didn't know this stuff happens. You know what I mean? I wasn't aware that even these places existed.
Well, there's an expression which has been knocking around for a long time, and I don't know whether you've heard the expression liquid cosh.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that?
I haven't, no.
And it's used to describe exactly that. It's the use of drugs to control people.
Yeah.
The implication being used to control people where that degree of control is not really necessary.
That's what I mean. Basically, like the patients, the staff won't. They're asking for basic stuff to go out for some exercise, or they're asking for things, and the staff are always like, we haven't got the staff to do anything. We can't do this. We can't take you out.
We're trying to arrange a birthday party for you.
1 sec. So basically, the patients, the patients before I've swore at them or basically had an argument with them. And they've argued that they have a right to control them with medication. You know what I mean?
Well, they do in certain circumstances. It all depends whether the circumstances are the right ones and whether they're abusing the authority that they have.
Yeah.
But these people that you're pointing out as being very unfair and everything, is as far as I recall, they were trying to organise a birthday party for you, which sounds a very nice thing to do.
No, it was just some sandwiches. It was like some sandwiches, and people were sat round.
Yeah, well, what do you expect if you're in a psychiatric hospital? Then you can hardly expect to be like to go to Chester Zoo or something like that, can you? Obviously, it's going to be within a modest framework.
But that's not the only case as well. I mean, I've had staff saying to me that and to other patients that you look agitated. And all this, are you agitated? And you say no. And I mean, I've been quite fine, and they've actually dragged me off in a room, And I said, look, where's the manager? No, we can do what we want, And pinned me to the floor, and used medication, saying that basically that that's it, that they can do that,
Right, listen.
And there doesn't seem to be any rights, really. Like when I was told that I was coming out, I thought it would be all it wasn't what I expected it to be. I thought it would be quite like the nut house, if you know what I mean. But it's not the case.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what I would have expected it to be.
Yeah.
Well, the point is this: while you're in there, just when you explain at the beginning, do forgive me, but I'm not that familiar with the prison and that. You said were you moved there from prison?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Right, so you were in Nick and you're now in
a hospital.
Psychiatric hospital.
For assessment.
For assessment, okay. Now, who are you visited by anyone, presume?
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to tell you was,
Well, wait a minute, wait, just a minute. When you say there's another thing you want to tell me, is it along the same lines as what you've told me already?
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to tell you was, in prison, if your family or your relatives or whoever your friends come to see you, you send them out a visiting form. It's simple. Here, it took my mum 6 months to even get to be allowed to come and visit me through paperwork. I told her I have to go through all the people who come in here. Basically, they have to go through a procedure.
Right. Listen. Now, what you've told me tonight, I've only got your word for it. I don't know if one of the other people involved were to tell me another story, then that we would have both sides of the discussion. Okay. So you understand that because you're the only person who's spoken to me. However, if that is happening, then, and I don't know the details, I don't know why you finished up in the Slammer in the first place, and I don't know fully why you've been moved there. Have you got a recognisable psychiatric illness, or do you suffer with paranoid schizophrenia?
No, nothing like that.
Well, any idea why they decided to section you?
Apparently, is what's it called? Obsessive compulsive disorder. It's just where you count. It's just where things have to be tidy and stuff like that. Yeah. Basically, that's all. Not schizophrenia. No.
That sounds very odd. I mean, you weren't put in Nick for obsessive compulsive disorder.
No.
You just like to arrange other people's televisions in your garage in a certain order.
Everything has to be in order.
Yeah.
It's where you clean.
Yeah.
And you go to but it's like an extreme length, if you know.
Yeah. Well, I can see why, if it was causing you major problems, you would want to get OCD treated.
Yeah.
But it does seem a strange thing. I mean, I assume you were in prison for a genuine crime that you had committed.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Okay.
I was.
Was it an unpleasant crime?
No, I was broke at the time when I just did some stupid things just to get money, basically.
Right.
That was all. That's it, really. I didn't really. I'm not a fruitcake. If you know, because I found him in the hospital. I didn't hurt anyone or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But still.
Okay, so you were in prison. Yeah, right. You were in prison for theft.
Yeah.
And while you're in prison, they decide that you've got obsessive compulsive disorder.
No, they didn't know. They didn't know. They said they thought I had some kind of. They thought I needed to be in hospital to be assessed.
Right. So, it seems a very an extraordinary thing to take this kind of action over.
They've only come up now with that conclusion.
Right.
Basically. That's it.
This is a bit odd.
I've been in for 7 months in the hospital.
Okay, well the fact remains that one of the practices we must guard against is the authorities using this type of ability to detain people purely, well, in a way it's not intended to be used.
Yeah.
Now, there should be safeguards in place.
Exactly.
And you should get visits from, I would have thought, certainly your family and other bodies from the outside. Have you got, is there any...
I mean, basically,
Listen to me, listen.
Yeah.
Is there any contact? Are you on anybody's books at the prison who are supposed to be monitoring what's happening to you in the psychiatric hospital?
No, the only thing I've got is a solicitor who's trying to work, basically, to get me out, basically. But what I wanted to say to you was, basically, their procedure is that you've got to go through a whole team, yeah? You've got to go through all them, and it's up to them. They decide who can visit you. Do you know what I mean? So basically, I'm trying to get my friends to visit, basically, and it's like taking months and months before you even get an answer.
Right.
Basically, do you know what I mean?
I do. They may have reasons in that you might have noticed this yourself, that a great many criminals have friends who are not particularly good influences.
Right.
And they may feel that they are entitled to perhaps try and discourage that sort of person making contact with you.
Right.
Now, your mother, I'm assuming your mother isn't like an armed robber or anything like that. Is that?
No, she's not. No.
Okay, that's fair to say. So it might actually be helpful. But if they're putting obstacles in her way, it would be very interesting to find out why this is the case.
Yeah.
Now, what power your solicitor has got, I don't know. How often do you see your solicitor?
I've seen her about a month ago, so I'm waiting for her to get back to me.
So you've not seen anybody from the outside world? For a month?
Yeah, I will. Yeah. I was just talking to someone then. No, not really, no.
Right. That's unfortunate. Whereabouts does your mum live?
She lives in Manchester.
Roughly?
Near Longside.
Right. That's Manchester. Is that Gorton or Manchester Central? One or the other. Anyway, look, do you speak to your mother?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Right. Well, the person to try and cut through this, and this is, a lot of people go, oh, here we go, and they'll roll their eyes, but this is true. This is the fact. Listen.
Yeah.
Ask your mother to speak to your Member of Parliament.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in Longside, I'll go and I'll just look. Is that, that's probably Manchester Central, is it? Longside? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it will be Manchester Central. Tony Lloyd's the MP for Manchester Central.
Yeah.
Mention my name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, say you would like him to look into this and try and sort it out. Now, something that's important, Paul, is that you told me the truth on this, because if you're shooting a line, then it's not going to really help matters if you get your MP involved and he finds out you've been telling porkies, because it makes him look a bit of a Charlie and it's wasting his time.
Yeah.
So you're telling the truth.
Well, I'm not making it up.
Right, you're telling the truth. You'll have heard this before. Truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
That's right, yeah.
Right, hang on. Just a minute. Okay, done with a light touch. Yeah. Right, it's Gerald Kaufman. Are you writing this down?
Yeah.
Or carving it in your bunk, or whatever you do. Right. Gerald Kaufman.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
He's the man to talk to.
Is he an MP?
Yes, of course he is.
Member of Parliament?
Yeah, he was a minister a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
He's very interested in the opera and things like that, but that's probably won't concern you. Now, he will have what they call a surgery.
Yeah.
And probably once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And if the situation is as you describe it, then your mother must go and speak to him, explain the situation, and ask him to look into it. And things, believe it or not, I know we all like to think MPs really don't do much, and there may be times when they don't, but in certain areas, particularly, I know he has his critics, but particularly people like Gerald Kaufman are pretty good constituency MPs, and they do stir things up over matters such as this. Are you listening to me?
Yeah, someone's trying to get to the phone, sorry.
Well, don't fall out with them.
I won't, no.
Right. Heaven's sake.
Right.
So,
sorry about that.
The next time you speak to her, ask her to do that.
Right.
Take all the details and say that you're not being allowed to speak to people from the outside and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Are you going to do that?
Yeah, I'm going to do that, yeah.
What's his name?
Gerald, what was it? Gerald, how do you pronounce it?
Well, I would pronounce it Kaufman, but
Kaufman.
He says Kaufman.
Right.
Gerald Kaufman.
Yeah. James.
Yes.
Can I just touch on two issues with you?
Oh, blimey, Charlie, I've just sprung you out of a mental hospital. What else am I supposed to do?
Right.
Do you want a request?
The first one is, the first one, basically, I was in a prison in Liverpool.
Oh, now, hang on a minute. How many bloody prisons is this the same prison?
Yeah. This is the prison I got transferred from to the hospital.
Right.
Basically,
Stop saying basically.
Right, the prisoners get treated better than what you get treated in a psychiatric hospital.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and the second one is, the staff are able to make notes on the computer what they think about an individual on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So basically, the doctors come to me and said, have you done this? Have you said that? And I've said none of it. So basically,
right. Well, we are getting a bit bogged down in detail now.
Yeah.
Which you can't necessarily sort out on the wireless.
Okay, well, all I wanted to say is
let's lump it all together into one problem, you see.
Yeah.
Lovely. Right, there we are. Let us know how you go on, okay? You're entitled to one phone call. Thank you. That was Paul in Prestwich. There I see. And people say that I'm not a compassionate person. I am. Chapter and verse there. Who knows? When he gets out, we'll have him in here, and he can tell us the story. Unless he's got an exclusive deal with the Daily Mail. Thank you. Oh, by the way, that reminds me, I didn't notice, with all the football, I completely forgot to look at the front page of, I think it was yesterday's Daily Express, wasn't it? They've arrested someone in connection with the death of the Princess of Wales. Did you know that? So I can't wait to find out who it is and what they'll be charged with, although I suspect we'll never hear anything about it ever again. But, you know, it was there. Right, it's 20 minutes to 11. 0161 288 0103. If you've just joined us, then obviously we can change tack at any point. We've just been speaking to someone who's gone from prison to psychiatric hospital, but don't feel that necessarily sets the tone for the entire evening. You may want to bring things round to a more everyday occurrence, such as dressing up like a member of the opposite sex. That's one of the things. Very nearly a quarter of men surveyed said they would like to do so. And if you've got any experience of that, if you're a man who likes dressing up as a woman, or if you're, I don't know, Sandy Toxvig, something like that, give us a ring. 0161 288 0103. Anything you like. That's the beauty of it. Thank you. Some emails have started to come in. We'll do those. And what else will we have? Bring you some observations. And we'll have another Hillman in a fascinating mix of this, that and the other. On 0161 288 0103. The biggest phone in the Northwest. I'm reliably informed.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103.
I'm glad the Spangor-Exon era is over now. It's finished and it's behind us.
With Stepping Stones. See steppingstonesintowork.info.
Jane, the freezer's broke down and it's full of food.
Get to Direct Discounts quick.
What if they haven't got any?
Don't be daft. Direct Discounts is a domestic appliance store. They do everything. Washing machines, dishwashers, tumble dryers, fridges, freezers, gas and electric cookers, built-in ovens, hobs, hoods and loads of those big range cookers. Even American fridge freezers. All on display at discount prices.
We need it now.
Phone them. They might deliver straight away free. Direct Discounts is next to MFI on Manchester Street, Oldham.
I've been seduced before. Oh, yes. By estate agents who promise a des res but show you a shoebox. By aftershave that guarantees women will fall at your feet. In fact, they just pass out from the fumes. By easy-to-assemble flat-pack furniture. By a washing powder that would keep my pants whiter than white, yet they're still beiger than beige. And by the tantalising aroma of many a kebab shop.
Some things aren't what they're cracked up to be. When surveyed, the majority of people who left BT didn't make the savings they thought they would. Turns out the grass isn't greener after all. BT, bringing it all together. Claim based on an independent survey of 156 customers who'd left BT. Survey conducted between January and March 06.
You know running's good. And raising money, well, that feels great. But running and raising money? Now that's amazing. Running 10 kilometres for Cancer Research UK is a fantastic way to fundraise for the UK's leading cancer charity. Whether you're running because somebody close to you has been touched by cancer, or you just want to run and raise money at a spectacular venue, entry couldn't be simpler. To join us at Tatton Park on the 24th of September, visit cancerresearchuk10.co.uk. The Cancer Research UK 10K. Together, we will beat cancer.
Set the treadmill to 5k. Done 3. Feels like 30. Legs are jelly. Lungs are burning. And it's all down to the decathlon sale.
With over 70 sports catered for at rock-bottom prices. Be careful, you could come in for some tennis balls and leave with a fully equipped gym. The Decathlon Sports Megastore Mega Sale, just off Junction 1 of the M60.
I hate the decathlon sale.
If you claim incapacity benefit, but you want to get back to work, there are some questions you'd probably like answering. For example, what companies would employ me? And how will it affect my benefits? Then you've got the other issues, such as have I got the skills to go back to work? You may even lack the confidence to take that first step back into employment. Well, that's where Stepping Stones can help. Stepping Stones provides advice, training, workshops and financial incentives For anyone claiming incapacity benefit who wants to get back into work, you just need to do one simple thing. Give us a ring. Call Stepping Stones now. 0800 783 1080.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Whenever you like, it's 16 minutes to 11, and I must do some of these, actually. Dave in Swinton has just sent us, I know the lists of things are sometimes it's rather off-putting, but these are good, actually. These are genuine questions asked in court by, it would appear, not altogether the front rank of the legal profession. And for that matter, not everyone in the witness box was the brain of Britain either. So I'll do some of those for you in a bit. They are actually funny, believe it or not. Some of them are. Well, about 80%. Right. Let's have a word with Jake in Moss Side. Jake in Moss Side, you're on Key 103. Hello.
Hi. Good evening, James.
Jake. Before we start, do you ever wear women's clothing?
Never.
No? Is it never?
Take it off.
You take it off? Oh, ha 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 ha! Has it never crossed your mind to do so?
Never.
Really?
No. I'll leave that to the women.
No one ever suggested it, because some women find it a bit.
Not the women I hang around with.
I see.
Now, James.
Yeah. Give us a glimpse into your world, Jake.
Right.
Right.
Basically, I was listening to K103 last night.
Yes.
I always listen. I'm on the website and stuff like that.
And so you should.
And basically, I listened to a guy called Tony last night. He's from my neighbouring city of Longsight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got onto the subject. They were talking about like the police officers and his community beat officer and stuff.
Yeah,
and
you
then,
never shut up about it.
You got onto the business of a police officer that was saying the racist with a racist text message.
Yeah, there were two stories on the same day which struck me as rather odd. Should I just recap?
Oh well, what I would like to say is that, to be honest, that police officer that with the racist text message, the fact that he acquiesced. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Which I mean.
Hey, where do you get a word like that from?
I maybe from my side, but I'm I'm educated as well,
Blimey, Charlie.
Just because you come from a deprived area.
You'll be the mayor of Moss Side, you?
No.
I bet that's the longest word anybody in Moss Side knows.
Well, I don't know. There's eutrophication.
Yeah, that's a fair one. Yeah. Okay then.
This officer that's obviously shown this message. I believe from going on the internet and having a look at the Manchester Evening News that the person that he showed it to happened to be his inspector, which was another officer in Great Manchester Police who bubbled this guy because...
Right. Hang on a second, Jay. Let's go back to the beginning because it was late on when we were talking about this, so there'll be people who didn't catch it. Just bear with me. And feel free to add any details that I may omit. There were two stories yesterday. One was that a police officer who had originally, as if by magic, a police officer who had originally been sacked for being one of a number of police officers who had received a joke on the phone which contained a racially offensive word, racially offensive to black people. So you don't have to be the editor of the Oxford English Dictionary, although you could put in for the job, to know what the word probably was.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Right. Now then, he was amongst a number of police officers who received this message. He showed it to another officer, but he didn't report it, apparently. He was showing it to him. That's my understanding of it. Now, you're saying it was now this officer who then reported the fact further up the chain, yeah?
Yep, I mean...
okay.
From that, that's from local. That's from the internet, the Manchester Evening News. So I'm not being liable.
No, it's all right. All right, that's fine. Right. So in any event, we've not named anybody. Right?
No.
So a number of officers were sacked. This officer was then reinstated, and instead was fined. I think it was 13 days' pay. So this would imply that officer is guilty in some aspect of taking part in this use of racist language. Okay? He didn't report it. He showed it to someone else. In what spirit, we don't know. But we know that he didn't take it straight to his superior and report it. Okay. So the fact that he's been fined clearly means that he's done something wrong. The police authority say, we will not tolerate racism in the police force. But they clearly do, because this officer was clearly guilty, and yet he's still a police officer.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying, James, is that basically that this officer has breached his code of ethics, which I'm sure all police officers go through, and what worries me is the fact that he's been let off.
Well, he's been fined.
Well, yeah, it's a let off though. I mean, these police officers that have done little less worse and been sacked from the jobs, and this police officer has committed the offence of which, in a report a few years ago, when it declared that the police were
institutionally racist.
Yeah. Because of the Stephen Lawrence murder.
Yeah. Well,
now,
yeah,
if
but
the police can't act on that.
The same thing was said about Greater Manchester Police for entirely different reasons, but the verdict was the same. Just let me add something, though. This story emerged on the same day as the story that, I think it was 43? 43 officers in the Greater Manchester Police Force have made formal complaints of racism in the last 8 years. So that story is running on the same day as this, where this officer is sacked and then reinstated.
Well, to be honest, James, I mean, it doesn't surprise me for two reasons. One reason is that basically that the maybe an issue, and I'm going to be really controversial.
Whoa, are you going to cause a conservatory?
I am. I'm going to really get people to phone in.
Right.
That there's an issue where that because of the PC world that we all live in now, I mean, we have to live in, and
that's a shop.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not the most PC person in the world, but I'm in an interracial marriage. My wife is Jamaican. We've got two.
Children? Is that the word you're looking for?
Yeah, I've got two children, but the two of mixed race.
Right.
I won't say the word half-caste is now what you class as being a racist term.
Oh, hey, listen, I've got a cracking story for you. Cracking story. Do you want to hear this?
Well, if you let me finish, and then you can tell me your story. I just want to point out that the PC world that we all live in is that the police don't always get to do what they want to do, and some things are said out of context. But at the same time, that the police force is its own worst enemy, because they try, and this is where they fail, along with the government, with this positive discrimination, where they employ people from ethnic backgrounds to take jobs, which there are people sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but there's sometimes, the way I see it is that the best person for the job should always get the job, regardless of their race, their religion, whether they want to be a Jedi.
Got the picture. Now listen, that's got nothing in particular to do with this case that we're talking about, but if you want to talk about positive action and fast tracking and all the rest of it, It was tried in the public services in America, and it collapsed in ruins, because what happened was people were given jobs, and in particular in organisations like the fire service, where the best person wasn't getting the job. And you don't want somebody who doesn't know what they're doing if you're fighting a fire in a skyscraper.
Well, of course you don't, James.
Okay, so it all fell through, and they have actually kicked it into touch now. The thing to consider, though, is this. If the best person for the job isn't the best person for the job because they are innately it, but because they come from a part of society where you have certain advantages anyway, then the playing field is not level.
No.
You with me? All right, you describe Moss Side then as a deprived area.
It is. It is.
Right, so if we take all these standards by which everything that we assume goes with being a deprived area, then we assume that people are not going to get the same type of education as they will get in Ramall. Okay? They're not going to get the same educational qualifications. They're not going to get the same life chances. An appalling expression, but unfortunately it just about tells the story.
No, I agree with it.
Right, okay. So, that means, if you are black and from Moss Side, the chances are, through no fault of your own, you are, on a balance of probability, not going to be the best qualified person for that job.
Oh, exactly.
Okay? So, there is something militating against you. Unfortunately, if you're running a fire station, you can't afford to be sentimental about it. You've got to have the best person for the job. And the chances are it's not going to be the black bloke from Moss Side. But you can't afford to do anything else. You've got to have the best person for the job.
Well,
so that's how it works.
What I'm saying, James, is I mean, to go back to the racism of the police.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I've got two children.
Right.
One that's 5, one that's 3.
Okay.
Both are at school, and before they go to bed, I always read them a bedtime story.
Right. I thought you were going to say the rights.
I'm not always there every night because I do work.
Okay, never mind. Get on with it.
But what I'm saying is that my oldest, who's 5, he wants to be a police officer.
Right.
He avidly watches the bill. He goes to bed about 15 minutes after it because he always falls asleep. But he likes to see the police, and he sees the police every day more or less when he lives around the area.
Yeah.
But
tighten this up a bit. Come on, Jake. Let's get this moving.
I'm very although I am white and my wife is black, and I've got 2 children that are a mixed race. I hope that my child will grow up and he will become a police officer for the sole reason is that without him doing that and mixing in with the crop of police officers, that he may be able to change views or may be able to
be a good influence and a role model and all the rest of it. Yeah, I get the picture.
I mean, in Moss Side...
Right, all right, listen, I'm going to tell you a tale now. Right. Going back to the police thing, I struggle to understand this really, how someone can be found guilty of performing an act which is racially insensitive.
Yeah.
And allowed to keep the job, and then the police authority says we won't tolerate this in the force. Unless they imagine that being fined 13 days' pay is going to change his outlook overnight.
It's not. You can't change a person by finding somebody, can you?
That appears to be what they're saying.
You can't.
Right, but okay, well that's what they're saying, and I'm telling you that in order to allow you to examine it and perhaps find the logic somewhat dodgy. Right. All I'd like you to think about is this. Mate of mine, a few years ago, white, going home from somebody's leaving do, sober, walking home with a female colleague, going to share a taxi, not particularly late at night, walking home, police van pulls up, coppers got out and pushed them around a bit. made them apologise for doing nothing. And you tell me this. Do you think this is odd? The sergeant in that van, well, I think there were 4 or 5 coppers, the sergeant who did all the pushing and making him apologise for nothing was black. Now, what do you make of that?
Well, I think that comes back down to, I mean, we have seen a lot of, like, American-style films where the ethnic community, I say that, but in a very good way.
Go on.
Where they actually, you know, there's a certain film which that's just come to my head now, and I'd like to point out is a film called Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, well, I don't want to hear about this. What I want you to do is tell me this. What's going on there? Because if a white police officer got out of a van and pushed around a black lad for no reason, there'd be a kick-off, wouldn't there?
Oh, yeah.
So listen to me. So, if a black police officer does it to a white person, what's going on there? Why would that black police officer do that? Why? Why would he not think, hang on, I am not going to make the situation any better by being as bad as that which went before. I should be fair. I should be a good role model. Or is the culture he joins in the police stronger than the culture that he left when he joined the police? I'm just going to ask. That's a rhetorical question because I've got a horrible feeling that it would take you a long time to respond to that. So I shall leave you to ponder that and tell that story to your kids, or to the kid that wants to be in the police force when he sends away for his for the pamphlet. Who was that? That was Jake in Moss Side. It's 11 o'clock. Good heavens. Time for a Kit Kat. Right, she's looking glowering about something, I don't know. And then we're going to hide, and we could be coming to you. We could be offering to do your washing for a fortnight on Key 103. Not really, that's just a witty reference to something that happened once.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103.
If anyone ever hurt that child, when they got released, I would personally hunt them down and I would end up in jail myself.
With stepping stones into work, don't let disability stop you working. Steve Pegg's Weekend Breakfast.
She's a wind-up. She's a wind-up. I'm sorry, love, I can't hear. Shut up! I can't hear you.
She stood in front of you. This is a bleeding wind-up. You're that tap on the radio. She's winding me up. She is such a...
Steve Pegg's Weekend Breakfast. Back Saturday from 9. Key 103.
When you are the biggest, you don't need to shout. Like the Benson's for Beds half-price summer sale. They've got a huge choice of styles, from magnificent designer bedsteads to the latest in that amazing memory foam technology, and all at the most unbelievable prices. The Benson's for Beds half-price summer sale is now on. Over 230 stores nationwide. For your nearest, call 0808 144 0000.
You know running's good, and raising money, well, that feels great. But running and raising money? Now that's amazing. Running 10 kilometres for Cancer Research UK is a fantastic way to fundraise for the UK's leading cancer charity. Whether you're running because somebody close to you has been touched by cancer, or you just want to run and raise money at a spectacular venue, entry couldn't be simpler. To join us at Tatton Park on the 24th of September, visit cancerresearchuk10.co.uk. The Cancer Research UK 10K. Together, we will beat cancer.
Out of the saddle for 15 minutes now. I've been down for all 27 gears. I've nothing left. Thighs are on fire. It's all the fault of the decathlon sale.
With over 70 sports catered for at rock bottom prices, be careful, you could come in for a football shirt and leave a fully equipped cyclist. The Decathlon Sports Megastore Mega Sale, just off Junction 1 of the M60.
I hate the decathlon sale.
All right. Now then, bit of audience participation required, yeah? Imagine you're Oliver Twist. Bear with me. You go into a Ford dealer and you ask, "Please, sir, I want some more. And the Ford dealer says, more, more. No trouble, because with the Summer of More, you get more on a new Ford. For example, for just $8,995, the Fiesta Freedom comes with front fog lights, 5-spoke alloys, body-coloured bumpers, rear roof spoiler, CD player with MP3 connector socket, electric front windows, free metallic paint, quick clear windscreen and aircon. There's more of everything, except gruel. The Summer of More from Ford. Feel a difference. Retail only.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Right, I'll do some of those things from the court. The court. They are quite good, to be fair. We better talk to Damien first, though. Damien in Hyde?
Hiya, James.
You're on Key 103, Damien. Do you ever dress up in women's clothing?
No, and I would never do it.
Why not?
Not my thing.
You might be suppressing it.
No chance.
Do you have a female friend?
I have a girlfriend, yeah.
A girlfriend? She never said, this is how it starts, isn't it? They say, let me just put a bit of eyeshadow on you.
Yeah.
Have you had that one?
I've had that before, yeah. Let me see if this makeup looks good on you.
Yeah, and then, just try a bit of blusher. Have you not had that? That's how David Bowie started, I believe.
Yeah, they've tried it, but it's never worked.
Really? No. You've not, as they say, Damien, got a face like a bulldog licking, what is it?
A bulldog chewing on a wasp.
Oh, okay, yeah, that one then, yeah, okay. Never mind about the thistle. Yeah.
I was ringing up about the bloke that was exercised more or less to death in the army.
Oh, right, not the one that's been killed on active service.
No.
Right, the one who was apparently, it is claimed, beasted to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's ridiculous. You've got people saying that the army's too easy on people, and then you've got this, where he's been beasted all day, 33 degrees. He's, allegedly, they've refused him water while he's done it.
Yeah.
He's warned them that he felt like he was going to collapse, and he's eventually just collapsed, and they're getting a manslaughter charge for it if they're charged. I think it's ridiculous. It should be murder.
Let me tell you something. Have you ever seen a film called The Hill?
No.
You can probably get it on DVD, or you might be able to get it from a DVD. You might be able to hire it, but I'm sure you can buy it. And it's about this very thing. And Sean Connery's in it. And it's about what used to be called the glass house. You know, punishment.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I know the case you're talking about is supposed to be training, but the
well, it's punishment.
It was punishment in his case, was it?
Yeah.
All right. And they've got an officer in charge who is, I tell you who was played by, he's been dead quite a while now, a bloke called Ian Hendry. Anyway, and of course Harry Andrews is in it, who always played Sergeant Majors, didn't he, and all that sort of thing. Anyway, it's a similar sort of thing. And unfortunately in this, they've got an officer who enjoys punishing people. Not because they deserve to be punished, but
just because they like seeing people suffer.
Yeah, he enjoys it. He enjoys the power and what have you. And it traces the reactions of various people to this. It's a film worth seeing if you're interested in it. It's called The Hill. That's it. I think black and white it is, yeah. But anyway, the point is, and funnily enough, I was, with the recent anniversaries of the Somme and that, I was doing a bit of reading over the weekend. I was reading a book by a bloke called Corrigan. Forget his first name now, but anyway. And he was writing about this, about training soldiers. And he says, because there's been the fuss before about that film about them dressing up and... Oh, they dressed up in women's clothing, didn't they? And those were all Marines. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
And when that bloke got kicked in the head and all that sort of thing. He says, the thing is, if you want soldiers to win battles, and we do, because they protect the likes of you and me, they have to be able to beat, and by that he means kill, other soldiers.
Yeah.
And they have to be tougher, they have to be better trained, They have to be able to tolerate things
better than everyone else.
Yeah, that you and I would not contemplate. And you have to test them. You cannot feel sorry for them. You cannot give them an easy time, because the person they're going to come up against is going to be trained and tough and violent and unfeeling about certain things.
Yep.
Right. Now, you hope that that only applies to the military side of them, not to them in everyday life.
Yeah.
Okay? And in some cases it does. In others, I'm afraid they carry it with them all the time. I've met a couple, and to be, as the Duke of Wellington said, I don't know what our men do to the enemy, but they frighten the life out of me.
Yeah.
So, that's what you've got to do. Now, Gordon Corrigan, that's his name, Gordon Corrigan. He says, you've got to do that. You've got the reason that they do. People think square bashing is a waste of time. It's not. It's to teach people to respond instantly. Instantly. If they're given an order, to do it, because every second is vital if you're fighting a life and death bloody battle. And
if someone's got a gun to your head, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And he said it's not to turn them into robots, quite the contrary. It's they are encouraged to think, use their initiative and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But they're not encouraged to think, should I obey that order? You're trained to think,
it's your jump on it.
That's an order, I must obey it. But in other circumstances, you're trained to use your initiative and imagination and all the rest of it. So that's something you've got to bear in mind. Now, if this was towards that end, towards that ultimate end, then that's justified. If it's because whoever's involved just fancied seeing how far they could push a bloke for their own entertainment, then that is a very, very regrettable state of affairs.
Well, it does say in the thing that he begged them to stop before he collapsed, but they made him carry on.
Right. Well, I'm sure he did. What's important is their reasons for carrying on.
Apparently it was just as a punishment.
Well, yeah, but as a punishment for what? If it's a punishment to eradicate a flaw in a soldier's behaviour.
Well, it said he went AWOL, so.
Right, yeah, okay, that's what the punishment is for, but... My God, I bet that's better, isn't it?
What?
What was that?
I don't know. Probably a car going past.
Better out than in, that.
It's what?
It's all right, doesn't matter. Yeah, the punishment was in response to going AWOL. Okay, right. But if the punishment was applied to that degree in order to correct him and turn him into a soldier who doesn't go AWOL, then you've got to bear that in mind. If it was just because these other blokes were just bullies... Well, that was a bit tied to that one, wasn't it? I think. Yeah, that was a bit of a screecher. Then that is very unfortunate indeed.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I have spoken.
It's also being treated
that's
as...
usually good news. What?
It's also being treated as a public matter, not an army matter. It's being investigated by police, not by the army themselves.
Okay. Well, we'll see what the outcome is, but that's because it wasn't on army premises, isn't it?
Well, apparently it wasn't army premises, but it says it was on one of the barracks.
Well, if it's not an army property, then it's a civil matter, although the police do have the power to investigate the military in certain circumstances. Right, well, it depends what, if you want to sleep safe... What was it George Orwell said? In order that we may sleep safe in our beds, men have to do... What was the quote? Nasty things. I think so. In fact, I think we've got an email on the subject of the global tension and the international geopolitical state of affairs from Gorton, haven't we? Yeah. Yeah, where they talk of little else. Right, it's not had any cross dressers on yet. I'm very disappointed. It's 13 minutes past 11, and it's time for a desk in a moment or two. I can feel one coming on. 0161 288 0103. James H. Reeve on Key 103. Emails coming up.
Come in, quickly, come on. This is the reception room with heated fireplace. Hallway into open plan kitchen stroke diner. Garden out the back there. Moving on.
Can I just,
Ceiling lamp right upstairs. Quick. Bedroom 1. Bedroom 2 with ensuite. Ignore that. Round the corner's bedroom 3. Okay, seen enough. Excellent. See yourself out. Thanks for coming around. Thank you. Goodbye.
Can't wait to get on holiday. Cosmos has thousands of holidays ready to go. To book, call 0870 145 5000 or click cosmosholidays.co.uk. Go book it.
I've been seduced before. Oh yes. By estate agents who promise a des res but show you a shoebox. By aftershave that guarantees women will fall at your feet. In fact, they just pass out from the fumes. By easy-to-assemble flat-pack furniture. By a washing powder that would keep my pants whiter than white, yet they're still beiger than beige. And by the tantalising aroma of many a kebab shop.
Some things aren't what they're cracked up to be. When surveyed, the majority of people who left BT didn't make the savings they thought they would. Turns out the grass isn't greener after all. BT, bringing it all together. Claim based on an independent survey of 156 customers who'd left BT. Survey conducted between January and March 06.
If you never have enough time on a Saturday to get all your shopping done, remember that Trafford Centre's open for shopping from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. every Saturday. Which means you have all the time in the world to explore our 230 fabulous stores and even stay on till midnight or beyond for a meal or a film at our 20-screen Odeon. Take the stress out of Saturday shopping. The Trafford Centre, always ahead.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Right, a number of matters arising here. Let's go to the... what is it now?
Email desk.
Yeah. And get some emails.
Have I told you that I used
in the
to
absence of any snow.
Makeup on my brother when I was younger.
Did you? A lot of that goes on, and some quite innocent... beginnings turn into a... Oh, right, yeah.
He hasn't worn any since.
No.
Well, I think he dabbled in concealer when he was about 16. You know, when he went through a stage of having lots of spots like teenagers and...
a bit of...
We took the mickeys too bad, so he stopped.
Right.
But I put mascara and eyeliner on him, I think.
Well, that's normally how it starts.
Yeah.
Let's just see what this looks like on you.
Yeah, I think I was about 11 or so, yeah.
Next thing you know, you're hanging up from a... Oh. Anyway,
emails.
Oh, yes.
Paul in Oldham says, "Hi James, did you realise that yesterday was the 60th anniversary of the invention of the bikini? I've seen more clips of Ursula undress in her white bikini during the last few days, but I'll never tire of it."
No, well, I can quite understand that. Are you familiar with the iconic...
Of course.
Oh, blimey, Charlie.
Yeah.
In fact, there was one last night, wondering if you would be commemorating the anniversary in your own special way.
Oh, if I'd known, I would have brought my...
Oh.
I've got a lovely brown one I bought recently.
Brown?
Yeah, it's nice. With yellow bits on, it's lovely. I've got a blue one as well.
Brown bikini?
Yeah, it's lovely. Oh, it's great for a tan. Brown. Oh, yeah.
Go on.
No? Linda and Lee says, "Hi James, this is bothering me. You know how you have to go and collect those celebrity guests that Key 103 bring to Manchester?
I know.
Well, after last night, if Matt Monroe's coming to the MEN Arena in association with Key 103, we'll be picking him up in a hearse."
That's appalling. That's an appalling taste. That's dreadful.
It is.
He was cremated.
Oh, was he?
I could go on my motorbike.
Yeah. We'd only be a little...
Yeah, just put him in the box on the back.
We might fly off.
I'll have to keep the lid on, yeah.
Yeah.
Blimey.
Chris in Saddleworth says, "Sorry to mention the football, but could you do me a favour? I watched Ronaldo in tonight's match. Did you see the dive?"
I didn't see that bit. I don't think... Well, we know he's not the only one.
No.
I don't think Henry was behind the bloody door either. That was a bit dodgy.
Jammy, wasn't it? And yes, again, he was diving and trying other useless tricks. Therefore, please could you ask your listeners to vote for Valencia of Ecuador in the FIFA Young Player of the World Cup. Valencia is currently in second, so if all the Man City and hopefully United fans vote for him, we'll wipe the smug smile off Ronaldo's face by stopping him winning. Ronaldo is currently first, and I, as well as all England fans, don't want him to win. We can vote on the FIFA World Cup website.
This is, has that arrived here?
That was a public service announcement.
Right, well, I got one at home this morning, and, apparently, there is, I'd forgotten this, there's a Young Player of the Tournament award, isn't there?
I didn't realise there was, actually, but I've heard of it
constantly, in fact, here's an interesting one for you.
Go on.
Because you know about football, like all women, don't you?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. Who was the player of the tournament in 2002? I won some money with this the other night.
Brazil player?
Oh, well, is that how it works?
I've just said...
Not Chris Tarrant, you know.
Was he a Brazil player?
Oh, we're doing it this way, are we? No.
I don't know then.
All right. It was Oliver Kahn.
Oliver Kahn?
Yes.
Who's Oliver Kahn? Excuse my ignorance.
Oh, yeah, I know. Ring Gary Dakin and ask him.
Okay.
He was German goalkeeper.
Oh, right.
He was player of the tournament. No, it's extraordinary, that.
The goalkeepers shouldn't get those awards, you know.
Anyway, so the thing is, there is this poll for young player of the tournament.
Yeah.
And this boy is in Valencia, is it?
Yes.
At the moment, he's in second place. Ronaldo is in first place. And a lot of people don't want him to win because...
The Rooney
he's a git.
Blah, 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 yeah.
Can I just cut through...
Yeah,
he's
okay.
a git.
Yeah, get straight to it.
I can go on. Right, he's a gutless,
that's the bottom
diving,
line, isn't it?
cheating, lying git.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. They've made up, you know, him and Rooney. They're all best mates now.
I've seen the photograph. The attempts are being made to mobilise public opinion to vote for this bloke who, to be honest, I don't think anyone's ever heard of him, really, have they?
No.
This Valencia bloke.
No.
And stop, what's his face, winning it, Ronaldo. So that's all we're telling you. Just mention it. And there's also this IHateRonaldo.com
website which crashed yesterday. It went down for a few hours because so many people were trying to access it. It's brilliant, that, isn't it? Mark in Wigan says...
I tell you what I saw. I was trying to describe it to you the other day as well, but you know that one? I think it's from the last World Cup. The Argentine wall at a free kick.
Oh, yes.
Where they're all cringe and they've all got handbags and that.
I
found it on something the other day.
Okay, can I carry on now?
By all means, yes.
Thank you.
Maintain the flow.
Hey Jimbo, says Mark in Wigan, has Jackie been given a new job at Q103? I've noticed that when callers ring in with a joke, Jackie shouts out in the background, that's rubbish. Is she now the Q103 critic as well?
You're employed entirely on the basis of your sense of humour.
Yes. Good evening, James. This is from Harry. Did you see that those mad North Koreans have started testing missiles?
This is the one.
Oh, in Gorton,
all of Gorton is a buzz.
And they're aiming them towards the Americans. He says, I don't think that's a good idea. And if we all get blown up in a huge atomic war, I will be quite cross.
I'm not surprised, Harry.
We share your sentiments.
Yeah.
Samantha says, hello Jackie, at the start of the football, James said he'd wear his Come On England underpants until England won. As it will now be over for another 4 years I think he should take them off. In 4 years' time, well, sticky won't be the word, will it? Ooh. Are you going to take them off?
Well, I know I would anyway by that time. Yeah.
Whenever.
In fact, probably before the next European Championships, I would have thought.
Right, that's good news.
Oh, did I tell you about the bloke in the paper shop?
No.
He's got his fold-up, cardboard stand, fold-out stand, with all his England memorabilia on it.
Oh, to sell?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I went in on Monday morning.
Was it £5 for £1?
I said to him, are those on sale or return, those? He says, no. He said, they're going in the loft now till Euro 2008. He said, I just hope they don't change the strip.
Oh, well, that's...
in the meantime.
Or the flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anne in Astley says, hi Jackie, you know when Brazil won a match last week and James danced the samba live in the studio? Well, with France winning tonight, will he be performing the can-can later? She adds, I don't think he should attempt the splits at his age. Bit painful.
Now, I know a joke about that.
I tried doing the splits on Friday night.
On licensed premises?
Yes.
Oh, well, go to the foot of our stairs.
I didn't...
How did you go on?
I didn't manage it.
I've never fancied it myself.
I was rather unsuccessful.
There's a Portuguese footballer who can do it.
Really?
Well, he can now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose now.
And just finally, this from Moira says, "Hi James, we all know how clever and talented Jackie is. However, when she's not producing, does she change to her weather hat, then her fire desk hat, and then her email desk hat? Isn't she an absolute star? You're very lucky to have such a talented girl as a boss."
Stand
Isn't
down.
that nice?
How we admire your many hats.
Yeah.
And your prairie hat.
Prairie?
Yeah. There's like a cowboy story comes in.
Oh.
By the way, Emma in Salford says, last Thursday when you finished, you were going off to watch Hell is a City on your newly acquired DVD, but you didn't tell us if you enjoyed it. How did the big screening go? Was it an entertaining evening? Well, we were hoping there was a premiere, wasn't there, so we couldn't have another one. But I actually lent it to Jackie and said, now, as an interesting sociological exercise, a bit of local history and, you know, your roots and your heritage, and it's all that. There's Hell is a City. Please let me have it back when you watched it, because I've not seen it myself for a long, long time, and I'd like to have a look at it. You've not opened the box, have you? It's not been out of the sleeve, has it?
I went shopping on Friday, and then I went out Friday night.
Everything would stop then.
England was Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, takeaway Saturday night. I just didn't get a chance.
It's now Wednesday.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, there's no arguing with that, is there?
No.
Oh.
No.
Right.
Not much.
Well, you better give it us back then.
Okay.
Okay, so. Thanks very much for sorting that out.
That's okay.
Lovely. Okay, are we talking to a Hillman?
Yeah, we're going to be talking to Chris.
Okay, we'll be talking to Chris soon. I've got a lot of phlegm, you know. It's 25 minutes past 11. We will talk to Chris. Oh, and I'll do some of those, what do you call it things? The courtroom exchanges thing. Because they are, honestly, I know you're thinking, meh, but they are actually funny. And also, you're confounding this theory. We want to hear from someone who has done or is contemplated doing, because the statistics say that not everyone has actually put it into practice, but it says that a lot of men would consider it a little bit of cross-dressing. Dressing up in ladies' clothing, you know what I mean? I'm sure I don't need to be any more explicit. Very often starts off with a little bit of eyeshadow, you know. And if you bear out the findings of this survey, which is that 23% out of these 1,000 blokes would love to try a spot of cross-dressing and would like to wear a floaty dress with a plunging neckline in particular. So we'd just like to see whether this is true within the Northwest. We can observe your anonymity if you so wish. We can give you a made-up name, like, Cynthia, something like that. Okay? 0161 288 0103. And we'll also play that thing of that lady trumping. Because I quite like that myself. Right. We're going to talk to Chris in a moment.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103.
I'll go and get it. I'll go and put it in the bin. Oh, no, that's £75 fine.
With stepping stones into work, advice and support to help you back into work. Key 103's £25,000 triple play. The false alarms are over. We're not playing at it anymore. Next time we do it, it's for real. We'll give away £25,000 cash. We've logged the songs into the computer. The timer is running. The countdown is on. Very soon we'll play the Sugar Babes Push the Button, Madonna's Like a Prayer, and the Stereophonics Handbags and Glad Rags. When we do, we'll pay out £25,000. Key 103's £25,000 triple play. It's getting closer and closer.
I went to Glastonbury and I can't remember a thing.
Glastonbury, bring it on!
I must have been there, I'm covered in mud.
The best festival in history!
Now it's all coming back. Radiohead, Faithless, Morrissey, Primal Scream, Scissor Sisters, the mud, the mayhem, the music.
Solstice. It's a label, man.
Glastonbury, the soundtrack to this year's 5-star Julian Temple film, out Monday.
Thank you so much. That was brilliant.
When TalkTalk first offered unlimited phone calls to everybody else on TalkTalk, the moaning minis thought it would never work. Over 2 million happy customers later, TalkTalk are at it again. But now, everyone with the new Talk 3 International Call package gets a super-fast broadband connection, free forever. Free broadband forever. From the idiots who bought you unlimited phone calls forever. TalkTalk, free forever. One-off connection fee, line rental, fair use, minimum contract terms and conditions apply, subject to availability.
And this is the kitchen. Oh, Jane! I went to that domestic appliance store in Oldham you told me about. What did you think? It was amazing. They do everything. Washing machines, dishwashers, tumble dryers, fridges, freezers, gas and electric cookers, built-in ovens, hobs, hoods and loads of those big range cookers, even American fridge freezers, all on display at discount prices. Probably delivered tomorrow for free as well.
Well, at those prices you can afford the best.
I send everyone to direct discounts. Next to MFI on Manchester Street, Oldham.
Let's be honest. We know you didn't turn on the radio for the ads. Nobody likes hard sell interrupting their favourite music. So, Kia Motors aren't going to waste their time waffling on in marketing jargon to try and convince you that their £5,995 Picanto Zap is the best buy in its class. Instead, they've set up a website at kia.co.uk/Zap, where you can see how it measures up against all its competitors and make your own mind up. So, relax and enjoy the rest of the show.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
I just took advantage of that hiatus to have a look at Ursula Andress in that celebrated pose, that iconic, And yes, indeed. And also, I'd forgotten this, she's not averse to getting them out, actually. During her career, something I'd forgotten. It's not a thing you'd imagine you'd forget, that, is it? But yeah. What's that film? There's a film where Stanley Baker gets to, Chris in Salford. Has Ursula Andress mean anything to you, Chris?
Ursula Andress, yeah, it's my first James Bond fantasy, really.
Oh, really? Yes, yeah. You're not the only one, mate, I believe.
No, I probably won't be, and I won't be the last either.
Oh, no.
No, what I want to talk to you about, James, is, my real name isn't Chris, and I've come on the, pseudonym of Chris. In fact, I'm a Great Manchester police officer.
Right. So this is about cross-dressing, then?
No, it's not about cross-dressing. It's really about, what's been said before about obviously the racist comment and the racist text message that was given to the officer.
Yeah.
And obviously his the outcome of what's happened about his fine.
Okay. Yeah.
And stuff. What I'd like to point out is, I've been a police officer for 7 years. I've worked in the South Manchester area. Which relates back to where I think it was it Jake or where he comes from. I don't actually work in his area, but I work around that place.
Right.
I don't want to give too much away.
All right then. Well, Jake was from the Moss, but Anyway, South Manchester, that'll do. It's close enough, yeah.
But what I'd like to say is that I do, in a way, feel that this police officer has been given a very, very light sentence from the disciplinary committee when there have been lesser offences committed by police officers that have secured even further sort of
Right. So are you saying his punishment has been lenient, or other people's has been too severe?
I think in the balance of it all, that his punishment for what he has done, in the context of that, 2 years ago we had the secret policeman incident, which was broadcast on BBC One, and that we had a couple of officers that were asked to resign, not forced to, but asked, before they were pushed. And I think that if you are going to show
Actually, just sorry to interrupt you, weren't some actually sacked? Or were they all were they all told they'd got a bad back?
You were always asked to resign before you were pushed.
Okay.
It's a play on words, really. You either resign or you're sacked.
Yeah, medical grounds.
And then you're forced to resign.
Okay.
That's how the police work. You'd either resign on your own ethics or you're forced to. And that's the way it goes, sort of. But basically, you know, with regards to getting if you're going for other jobs.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is that with this officer, bearing in mind of what had gone on before, is that despite what he had seen on his mobile phone, he should have kept to himself. And his view, and what a lot of people will say that is wrong, but what he got sent on his phone, he cannot actually stop somebody sending a message of whatever context it was.
Right.
To his phone. He's powerless against that. But he is.
It's what he does next that counts, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
To best. We all get messages on our mobile phones. Some you can get messages that are just sent to your phone that have from these really stupid companies. And I say, well, if you phone this up, we'll give you free ringtones and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but what he's done is he's actually shown a text message of a racial nature to another officer, which, to be perfectly honest to that officer, he's acted in every sort of commendability to the officer, because how can you say that at that time that was not a set-up for that person he was showing the phone to? He could have been being set up. So what he has done, he's acted with all integrity and said that one of his fellow officers has shown him a message which is, in other words, explicit, racist, whatever, and he doesn't agree with the content of that message.
Okay. And to be fair, for whatever the circumstances, for someone to go to the gaffer and make a complaint about a colleague, it's not easy, that. Whatever the circumstances. Not a complaint about some personal grievance, but to report a breach of the rules like that.
Well, to be honest, James, the person that he actually did show it to, Jake said it, and from what has been going round our station, is that he did show it to a senior officer, and the senior officer is obviously not going to put himself in jeopardy. And, like I say, he does not know whether he's being set up to pass an integrity test by the internal affairs officers, which the police do have.
Okay, Y division.
That's the Y department.
Yeah.
And basically, he doesn't know that. And for what he has done, I have all respect for him. Even though
when you say he, you mean the officer who brought this to the attention, the officer who reported the first officer, he's the one you think has done the right thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when I work, in the area that I work in, it's very diverse. And if I ever found an officer that was maybe either racist, sexist, ageist, anything like that, right, I would take that person to one side and I would have a word. That would be my first point to point out to that person.
Right.
That I do not agree with what they have said. And I would make that clear to that person. And if that person ever spoke to me again, it'd be no loss to me. Because the way I see that my job is, in this life, we all have prejudices. You cannot avoid that. It's when you discriminate that's when it becomes a problem. And in my job...
now that's an extremely interesting remark.
Well, it is, James, because we all have prejudices. I'm a Man United fan. I don't like City. I'm prejudiced against Manchester City. I'm not discriminated against Manchester City because I don't go round and act on my prejudice. I don't go around beating Manchester City fans up. But
I should think not.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Hey, just try it, pal.
No, but that's what I'm saying, James.
The mask slipped for a moment.
But
yeah,
we all have prejudices.
Right, that was a very right. But
all the police officers have a prejudice, and it's when the discrimination comes into it. That's when the police force and with all other jobs need to act on it.
All right.
We cannot hide a prejudice because we are brought up with them, whether it be, for example, if Germany and England were in this World Cup final, we would all be singing about England winning, and there'd be a lot of songs against the Germans saying, "We won the war."
Oh, I'm not sure that's the case, but...
No, yeah, but, I mean, we would all be having slight digs about the World Wars. I mean, it's always calling Krauts, and we would be doing it because we'd all been brought up with the prejudice that the English don't like the Germans. Now, I was born in the 70s.
I would argue with you fiercely. I would not use such words and display such attitudes about the squareheads under any circumstances.
Well, I was born in the 70s, and throughout my life, we've always had a sort of a anti-German football sort of thing going.
Yeah, of course you do. But you see, you've got look. I'm going to have to stop you here, son. Listen. Okay. I know what I mean. Yeah, you have you have certain loyalties and what have you, but in your professional capacity, you are required to be impartial. Okay?
Of course.
I will have a laugh about things to do with the war and all the rest of it, but in actual fact, I am a great admirer of the modern Germans.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Right.
You can't disagree with what they've done.
Right. I'm also quite an admirer of the pre-1939 Germans as well, for a variety of reasons. But you know, going back to you talking about people having prejudices but not acting on them. Right. Now, we don't know what was we can't read minds. We don't know what was in that officer's mind when he showed this joke on his mobile to his superior officer, and it all started to go wrong. Now, I'll be perfectly honest with you. You know that the minute there's some sort of horrible disaster or a terrible crime or something like that, within an hour, gags are appearing on your mobile and on your PC and all the rest of it. People are making jokes up all the time. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Now, in the interesting world in which we live, it's perfectly... I am perfectly at liberty here to say within an hour of the tsunami, there were tsunami gags flying around.
The same as Princess Diana.
Absolutely, yeah. Same as most things. But if I were to tell one of them, that would be considered extremely bad taste and might lead to disciplinary action and massive intervention on the part of the regulators.
Oh yeah, of course it would.
Okay. That's the way it is, as I think Rodney Marsh found to his cost.
Yeah.
So, I can see a joke will come in about some horrible tragedy, and you look at it, and you go, oof, right? If it's a funny joke, you laugh. But you don't think, I don't care that so many people have died or such and such a person has met such horrible fate. A joke is a joke, and I know this is sounding like Bernard Manning territory now, but I've got pals who work in... I've got a mate who works at an august organisation. We're good pals. And we tell each other jokes that we've heard, and some of them are horrifyingly in bad taste. They are racist, sexist, murderist, all the lot. But that's a joke. Have you heard the one that's going, oh dear, right? Laugh, right? That doesn't mean you have got that approach. That doesn't mean that you practice that. Okay? Now, what we've got to decide is, what did that officer show it to his superior officer and say, God blimey, Ken? A lot of coppers senior officers are normally called Ken, aren't they, I would think?
Well, I wouldn't say that, no.
Oh, George, something like that? Anyway.
It's quite modern names, actually.
Are they? All right, so. Anyway, okay. Brooklyn.
A lot of them are younger than me, to be honest.
All right. Gary.
Yeah, you
okay.
got Gary and Pete and Dave and James
that sort
and
of thing. Yeah. So was he saying, "Look at that, that's a good gag about black people, isn't it, eh?" Or was he saying, "Jeez, look at that gag." Anyway, I better get rid of it. What was he doing? What do you think?
Well, I think, to be honest, that the situation was that obviously it was in an atmosphere, an area where him and his fellow officers, regardless of their authority in the rank, were all out, and he's shown a text message to a couple of officers. And what I think is that he was wrong to show that to another officer, because despite what all our views may be on the subject, if you have sent something of a certain context, now he may have thought that superior officer was a buddy in that way. Now, what you should know better is that no matter what job you're in, and no matter how well thought of you are by your superiors, is that there is a line, and if you know that racism is a problem within the job that you do, you should not be showing a racist text message to somebody who's in a more senior authority to yourself, or even the same authority to yourself. You should not be showing that to anybody. You should keep it to yourself, and you should...
Well, no, you should do more than that.
Well, you should get rid of the message. And basically, whoever sent it you should be telling that person that joke
is not acceptable.
I wouldn't call it a joke, James. I wouldn't call it a joke. I would say that the text message that you sent was out of order, and he should not be sending it.
Right, and shouldn't he be doing something else?
Oh yeah. Well,
shouldn't he be going to his senior officer and saying, "I wish to report that I've just been sent a racist joke by PC so-and-so," or
it depends. When you said PC so-and-so, it may not come from a PC, it may come from one of his friends outside the job. But what I would like to say is that he should have, when he received that message, he should have never shown it to anybody. And what he should have done is, the person that sent it to him, right, he should have replied to that message and said, "You should not send me a joke containing these words."
Yeah, okay.
He should have basically said that this person, you should not send it to me, because I find it offensive, and if I get caught with any material...
Yes, I get the point. I'm ahead of you on this, Chris. But listen, shouldn't he say, not just, listen, don't send me any more of those. Shouldn't he say, "You just sent me a racially offensive message. I am going to report you for doing it"?
Yeah, because it could do it under the Telecommunications Act.
Oh, what?
Because a racist incident...
We know. But listen. When he shows it to his superior officer, is he doing that in a conspiratorial way? Is he saying, "Hey, look at this gag about..." Right? Or is he saying, "Look at that, eh?" Or what? But the point is, look, let's side tackle that. We know that on he's in breach of the rules. We know that. Whether what it says about his own state of mind, his own philosophy, his own approach to the job, I think is still not necessarily clear. But what is clear is that he was sacked and reinstated, and the police authorities say we will not tolerate racism in the police force. Here we are. The police authority is determined to stamp out racism wherever it occurs and whatever form it takes. And they choose to do that by reinstating someone who's been sacked for the offence as described previously.
Well,
so he's
James,
still a copper.
To be honest, I think that if you're going to show somebody a text message of what's been classed as a funny joke, and I do not want to be held in like context with that. I do not class what he said was funny. But
right, okay.
This funny joke that he has been sent, that he's shown to somebody else, if you are going to show a funny joke to somebody else,
yeah,
you are obviously showing it in the way that you want somebody else to laugh.
Right.
I totally agree that
our Greater Manchester
would
Police
want that person to be sacked.
Right.
A fine.
That's the point.
For racism is inappropriate. In my view.
That's the point we're coming to. So, in your view, are Greater Manchester Police still employing a racist police officer?
Yes.
Right, there we are. Got there at the finish. Thank you. That was Chris, which would, and his answer would appear to be rather at odds with the aims of the chairman of the Complaints and Professional Standards Committee of Greater Manchester Police Authority. I would hate to see the name tag on him at a civic reception. It's 10 minutes to midnight. That was Chris in, somewhere in England. That's what we used to do, you see, because that's the bosh we're expecting. Doesn't matter. Stop that. I think we're going to talk to... Oh, well, what are we going to do? Talk to somebody in Ashton, but also, I must do those humorous items, because they are actually quite funny. Stand by. 10 to midnight, James H. Reeve on Key 103. We still haven't found... Are you telling me there's nobody who likes dressing up in women's clothing in the Northwest? What are we coming to, hey? That's just typical of us to lag behind fashion here in the North, isn't it, hey? All over the 23% of men love to put a nice frock on. Or if they haven't, they've thought about it. But no. And I would have thought, you know, if you wanted a bunch of weird people who do odd things, I would have thought that the Illmans that listen to this would be the ideal place to start. I've obviously misjudged you. 0161 288 0103. And I'll treat you to something in a minute.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103.
He just used to lose his temper, fly into a rage, and then start punching me.
With stepping stones into work, advice and support to help you back into work.
News about the M60. Overnight resurfacing work starts mid-July till October to improve drainage between Junction 23 and the River Medlock Bridge. For safety, there'll be a contraflow, speed restriction and varying lane restrictions night and day, plus overnight closing of Junction 23's exit slip road. So take care on the M60 contraflow between Junction 23 and the River Medlock from mid-July. The Highways Agency, putting motorway safety first.
How was Scotland?
Oh, beautiful, Si. I visited this ancient church where I learnt all about the Priory of Brian, and a murderous albino gerbil came at me with a dagger.
Sometimes you have to see something to believe it, like 1,000 free texts on all new SIM cards and pay-as-you-talk phones, including the Motorola V3. Available at your local Vodafone store.
And then it struck me. My hair, my beard.
You're not possibly suggesting.
I am. It's time for a makeover.
Registration required. Conditions apply. Offer ends 31st of July.
Oi, you lot done yet? Me and the girls are just putting the finishing touches to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre. Come on down and find out more about Rockwool Flexi, the fantastic multi-use insulation product with a unique flexible edge. You'll get a free bacon butty and a mug of tea just for turning up. And you can enter our lucky draw and win prizes worth a total of 15 grand. Can't be bad, can it?
Phil, we need you.
On my way. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Get down to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre.
Wouldn't it be a good idea to be able to move your mortgage without paying hundreds of pounds in setup fees? We think so too. The fee-free mortgage from Abbey. Pay nothing on booking fees, nothing on standard legal fees, nothing on valuation fees. Pay absolutely nothing to remortgage to us. Call 0800 80 80 80, visit abbey.com or your local branch for details. Abbey. More ideas for your money.
Available on selected tracker products. Early repayment charges apply for 2 years from completion. Free valuation up to £1,100. Calls recorded.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Right, well, we eventually got Chris to confess, didn't we? We had to beat it out of him, but, he's used to that. And we can say that because it's not his real name. Ha! Ha ha ha! I don't think you were here when we had a bloke on. He was talking about having been, talking about bullying in the workplace and,
right.
Men being...
Men being bullied?
Bullied, yeah.
Right.
And, he came on, and it took a bit of, takes a bit of courage, doesn't it, to come on? Yeah. So he came on, and the name came up on the laser display board here, and it said Malcolm Oldham.
Right.
Bullying.
Right.
Because that's all I get, you see. That's all I get. Just that. Well, I'm lucky to get that, to be honest with you. Don't have time to Google anything.
Get the violins out.
And I said, well, we're going to wherever it is now. I said, and we've got Malcolm on, and Malcolm in Oldham, and very brave of you, very good of you to come on and talk about what must be a sensitive and painful subject. And, we do respect your decision to do so, and, of course, if you want to be anonymous, you can be. For all we know, Malcolm isn't your real name.
Yeah.
He said, oh, yes, it is.
Blew his cover. Dear me.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, Dave in Swinton sent us these are all, actually, these have all been recorded in court in America. I hate it when jocks do this, but some of these are actually quite funny. And they type it on that typewriter that's only got about 6 keys. How do they do that?
Like this, aren't they, constantly?
But there's only about 6 great big keys on it.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Is it all like certain words that they're always using?
Probably.
Objection, has that got a key to itself?
Yeah, probably.
Objection, overruled. Do that. Anyway.
Your Honour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I suppose things like that, yeah. Anyway, these are all things that have happened in court.
Guilty, not guilty.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So say you one, so say you all. Attorney. Attorney to the witness, in all cases, right? Attorney, are you sexually active? Witness, no, I just lie there.
Well, do you want to play the attorney and I'll play the witness?
Oh, yeah, then we could do it like...
See, like a role play?
Yeah. It would be like Terry and June.
I'm nothing like it, right.
Let me. Do you want your own screen here?
Oh, you can do that then, yeah.
How do I do that? I'm not a bloody clue.
Well, pass it me and I'll show you.
Okay.
Behind the scenes, insight here, you see.
Little glimpse. We do this. This is the latest in an occasional series where we give you a glimpse into the workings of commercial radio.
Right, we're off.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you want me to be the district attorney?
Yeah, I'll be the witness.
Right.
Okay.
It doesn't always work because sometimes the witness is a man, so you'll have to put it.
Oh, okay. How do I know if it's a man?
It'll be obvious from the context.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Off you go.
Right, we've done that one. So, actually, some of the witnesses are really stupid, so you'll have to...
Have to play act.
Yeah. Right. Okay, attorney. Imagine the scene, right? We're in a courtroom. Okay? What is your date of birth?
July the 18th.
What year?
Every year.
That's very old, that one. This is good. Let go of the thing.
Oh, I can't read that
No,
bit there,
you've cocked it up here.
Oh.
Right,
okay.
Right, there we are. This myasthenia gravis from which you suffer, does it affect your memory at all?
Yes.
And in what ways does it affect your memory?
I forget.
You forget? Can you give us an example of something you forgot?
Go on.
That's good, isn't it?
You've got to read the next bit.
That's excellent.
Oh, it's...
Oh, Christ.
What? I don't understand that one.
Give us an example of something you forgot.
Oh, right, I see, that's the gap. Right, I was waiting for me to have
Stop
the
making it change colour, because I don't know where we're up to.
No, sorry.
Right. Don't, leave it! Leave it!
Off you go.
Stop doing that randomly.
Okay.
Bloody.
So you've done it now.
Right, just leave things.
Right, hold on, Richard.
Oh, God, this is awful. Right, okay. How old is your son, the one living with you?
38 or 35, I can't remember which.
How long has he lived with you?
45 years. I can't read the next one.
We should have printed this off.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Right.
What was the first thing your husband said to you that morning?
He said, "Where am I, Kathy?"
And why did that upset you?
My name is Susan.
We haven't got a cat in hell's chance of doing this one properly. I just thought I should be doing this.
Oh, no. This is an old gag.
I know. I should be doing this as Columbo, I've just realised.
Yeah, you
see, I have to do this just for the record. It's just a formality. It keeps them happy down at the station. Do you know if your daughter has ever been involved in voodoo?
We both do.
Voodoo?
We do.
You do?
Yes, voodoo. Oh.
Right, now, you get the upper hand in this one.
Yeah, okay.
Shall I do it as Columbo?
Yeah.
Tell me something, Doctor. Isn't it true that when a person dies in his sleep, he doesn't know about it until the next morning?
Did you actually pass the bar exam?
I'm just a cop. The youngest son, the 20-year-old, how old is he?
20.
You've cocked that up.
No. 20-year-old, how old is he? Oh.
Okay. Tell me something. Were you present when your picture was taken?
Would you repeat the question? I'm not very good at this, am I?
No.
You're getting into it. I can't really get into it.
So the date of conception of the baby was August the 8th?
Yes, it was, yes.
And what were you doing at the time?
Well...
Aye, thank you all. Right. Oh, there's more of these. This goes on forever.
Should we do some more later?
No.
Oh.
We're on a roll.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, she had 3 children, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, how many were boys?
None.
Were there any girls? How was your first... What am I doing there?
Yeah,
Huckleberry Finn. Right. Tell me something. How was your first marriage terminated?
By death.
And by whose death was it terminated?
These are awful.
But apparently these have all happened.
Ones, yeah.
Can you describe the individual?
Well, he was about medium height and had a beard.
And was this a male or a female? Right.
Doesn't account for transgendered, though, that does it really?
I don't even... That one's written completely in American, so I can't do that one. Right. Doctor, how many of your autopsies have you performed on dead people?
All of my autopsies are performed on dead people.
Okay. All your responses must be oral, okay?
Right.
So what school did you go to?
Oral. That's so American, that, isn't it?
Do you recall the time that you examined the body?
The autopsy started around 8:30 p.m.
And Mr. Denton was dead at the time?
No, he was sitting on the table wondering why I was doing an autopsy on him.
Fantastic. And the best for last. Oh, this is good.
Oh, it's a long one.
Yeah. Doctor, before you performed the autopsy, did you check for a pulse?
No.
Did you check for blood pressure?
No.
Did you check for breathing?
No.
So, then, is it possible that the patient was alive when you began the autopsy?
No.
How can you be so sure, Doctor?
Because his brain was sitting on my desk in a jar.
But could the patient have still been alive nevertheless?
Yes, it is possible he could have been alive and practising law.
Hey, thank you. They're all right, those actually. Some of those are good.
telly.
Yeah. Next thing, is this what we're reduced to? Next thing, it'll be reading out insurance claims, won't it?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, funny. Right. What am I doing next? I've lost everything.
Richard.
Should we do Richard?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that
He's
one.
in Ashton.
Is he?
Just to help you along.
He might not be. He could be he could want the place he's in to be anonymous.
Yeah,
But he is. We've actually better make sure he's not hurt himself laughing at that. He's still in one piece, Richard?
I think so. It's just I've kind of lost the will to live.
Yeah. But it was just like being in something. It was like Perry Mason with laughs,
It was
wasn't it?
stand-up.
Yeah. It was stand up and repeat after me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hold the book in your right hand. Comedy.
It was stand up before you fall over and die, maybe.
Right, I'll put that down as a cautious welcome then.
Very cautious. You know, I've almost forgot what it was I wanted to phone up about.
It was about your habit of dressing up in women's clothes, according to my notes here.
No, I only ever did that once. It was nearly mass murder.
Go on. I can't believe that. I thought there'd be people saying,
I knew you'd have to go into that
Yeah.
subject. Is this the fetish of yours? Do you like men dressing up in women's clothes?
Well, this is it. I wanted to ask James Richard, and I'm glad you brought it up. Do you or have you ever dressed in women's clothes, James?
I think he does it every Saturday night.
Well, that's a terrible old gag. Oh, Barry Cryer would be ashamed of that gag.
Answer the question.
Look, I think at some point, and Richard will back me up on this, maybe, at some point, I think anyone has... And
Oh, brilliant! You do, don't you?
And don't forget, sometimes it's women who, like, sow the seed, you know what I mean?
Right, we force you into them, do
Well,
we?
no, but they, sometimes... yeah. Right.
Have you?
Well,
have you?
Just for a lot. I think most...
Oh, tell us what you wore.
Well, at least 23%.
What did you wear?
Oh, you see, now that's a woman's reaction.
What did you wear?
Tell us what you wore.
Was it a dress?
He's after moral support, isn't he? That's the whole point of this actual
He's got
thing.
it white.
I just thought it would be an opportunity for us to investigate this important social phenomenon, as revealed by a recent survey.
Was it underwear?
It was floaty dresses.
What did you wear?
Well, yeah, look, Ricardo,
Bail me out, please.
Look me in the eye and tell me this has never happened, that a woman of your acquaintance has said, as I say, it starts off with the eyeshadow. That's the first...
You've worn eyeshadow?
Bit of eyeshadow and... No, that's what I'm saying.
Gloss?
I'm saying...
And the pictures?
That's how it starts.
Right. So you started wearing eyeshadow and lip gloss, and then you moved on to underwear and dresses.
But, well, it was just like a novelty, and I think most people
so
people
did you
will
have
done
makeup and dress and underwear on at the same time?
There was like just a crazy evening.
Did you move on to beads and rings and perfume?
Just kept it basic.
Earrings?
No, just...
Heels? Have you ever worn heels?
Oh, no. God
No.
blimey. I only know one shop where you can get 9s in high heels.
Really?
Yeah.
You know the shop?
Yeah, you know the one I mean. Yeah.
This is quite disturbing.
Yeah.
I don't know it.
It's round the corner from me, as a matter of fact.
All right.
You're regular in there, are you?
Oh, no, I did go past it.
And ask for 9 heels.
No, it says you can get... It actually has a
it
thing in the
doesn't.
window.
But he
Rubbish.
moved in round the corner.
No, it has a thing in the window. It says high heels in men's sizes.
Oh,
It says
lovely.
on a
No,
poster
it
in the
doesn't.
window. It does!
That's why he bought the property round the corner.
Oh, this gets funnier all the time.
I've dug your own grave here. Oh, can't wait to have a bit of fun with the website. Send me your photos of James in a dress and they'll go on the website.
There's probably several out there.
Well, listen. All right, for that. Right, I'll just ask Jackie now to repeat what she was saying before. on the subject of breasts.
Go on.
Because I'd like that out in the open.
This was strictly off air.
Well, you see, if you've hit below the belt now.
Okay.
Okay.
It says, in the survey, more than 1 in 5 men, or 23%, would choose to wear a floaty dress with a plunging neckline, if allowed to be a woman for the day. Now, I said, they only want to do that the only reason is because men are desperate to have breasts, and they'd wear a floaty dress with a neckline so they could have a look at them and play with them all day. That's all I said. And you agreed. You said, well, yeah, of course.
I don't think... No, I think I looked perplexed.
Men would love to have breasts.
Would they?
Yeah. Obsessed.
What do you think, Reeve? Would you like a pair of...
For a day?
No, it'd give me a backache.
Oh, you see...
Why?
Well,
What size would you want?
Yeah, he'd obviously want a whacking great...
Yeah, he'd want, yeah.
No, I'm just unaccustomed to them. They're like walking around with a sack of spuds hanging off your chest.
Well, no, they're not, no.
No.
I've got a little picture in my mind now. I might have to get home while it's fresh.
Don't be, James. Women's clothing, sack of spuds hanging off the chest, he's happy.
It's easily...
yeah.
And that's right, yeah. My missus wears, bought some fishnet tights, you know.
Oh, right.
Yeah, her ass looked like a bag of sprouts.
Oh, right. Awful. I love this as well, though. 20% said they'd love to go on a ladies' lunch. I think that's brilliant.
I don't even understand that.
Yeah.
When she took my brass looked like a waffle.
Waffle. Should be alright. Well, no. Leave it now.
2 paddies in a balloon. Oh no, that's
another one.
Completely different subject. Yeah. That, yeah. Anyway, what was it you wanted, Ricardo?
I was going to go back to the Chris subject and sort of vaguely when I turned on the radio.
Crisps?
No, Chris, the anonymous copper.
Oh right, yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
First of all,
just a number.
Chris started to sound a bit like a cover your arse syndrome. Which is kind of a bit worrying because it's kind of where I came in from. I switched the radio on. The comment I heard from you was something along the lines of, if you wanted a fireman who people are looking for the best person for the job, and unfortunately is not likely to be the black guy from Moss Side. Now, to be honest with you, the black guy in the gym from Moss Side, because he's got bugger all else to do with his time, so he stands there in the gym doing whatever, who hasn't got asthma, hasn't got this, hasn't got that, puts 40 miles a week in or 50 miles a week in or thereabouts. To be honest, he's exactly the kind of guy I'd want to come and dig me out of a fire. Preferably the female form of the equivalent, but on the back of the previous conversation. But, yeah, I don't particularly see why the fact that he's from Moss Side and he's black has got absolutely sod all to do with whether he's the right man for the job or not.
Yeah, well, look, I've tried to explain that as in sociological terms, right? Let's take it away from Manchester. Let's take it to California. Okay?
Take it wherever you want.
Right.
California will do me fine. It might be cooler than here at the moment.
Okay. Right. Take it wherever you want. Oh, not there. Right. Listen. Let's take it to California just so we can think clearly about this. Let's get rid of our baggage on this one. Right. Okay. You've got a large in California. You've got a large Hispanic population. Statistically, they are poorer. They go to worse schools. They get fewer qualifications, so on and so forth. They've got a bad start in life because of the way society is structured. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. They come from poorer homes, they come from larger families, and all the sociological factors that entails. They don't get as much parental attention, this, that and the other. They have bigger school classes, all the lot. The whole lot. So, in percentage terms, they are less likely to be qualified to do a great many jobs. Now, the reason the fire service featured in this was because it was the fire service that decided to introduce this policy, or I think they might have had it imposed on them by the state legislature. Okay, so that's why it happens to be the fire service. But don't think we're just talking about something that requires physical strength and what have you. Let's imagine a major employer. All right, the National Health Service, for the sake of argument. Okay?
Go on.
So, the National Health Service says, or the Californian Health Service says, we want the best qualified people. Now, the statistics tell you that the best qualified people in that category, the Hispanics will be underrepresented.
Okay.
Okay? That's the problem. That is the problem. So,
which comes back...
Right, wait a minute. So, they said, the fire service, but pretend it's the health service, said, right, we must do it by numbers. We must have the right percentage, and therefore we will appoint people. If it comes to a choice between, well, you're in you're in difficulties whichever way you do it here, because you either say we've got a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant and a Hispanic equally qualified, and we will give the job to the Hispanic, because then you can imagine what the uproar would be then. Okay? Even more troublesome if you say, right, we've got a Hispanic here and a white and a WASP. The Hispanic isn't as well qualified, but we'll give him the job. Now that's going to cause ructions anyway, and also be detrimental to the organisation which is doing the employing, isn't it? That's the whole problem. Anyway, as it happened, in the end, the positive action thing in California, in all the public services, it just fell on its backside. Got the picture now?
Yeah. I
good.
missed the text message and I missed a bit before your comment. I just kind of thought, whoa, hang on. But that brings me back to the second point on all this, is that there's two issues in a way. The first thing is I remember sort of long time ago I worked in retail, and if somebody's postcode came in on the back of a job application, be it Moss Side, Hume, these kind of areas, it was thrown in the bin. And I had several disagreements over it before I thought, well, I may as well just throw it in the bin myself, because nobody's going to consider it. They're just going to shout at me for actually putting it in front of them in the first place.
Okay.
And the only problem is somebody's postcode.
Right. You're talking about job applications now?
Yeah, basically it's like we will not employ them because they are a coloured person, or we don't know their ethnicity, but they are from that area, so the likelihood is
that is a bad news postcode,
whatever. And it's like, well, the first thing is, well, if somebody's actually getting off the backside to apply for a job, then chances are they might be worth giving a chance to. But the other thing that gets me with it is, part of the issue is we have areas that are, Moss Side, for example, is predominantly black, be it black African, traditionally black Afro-Caribbean. We have Hume that is traditionally a poor area but traditionally white, or very much so. In Oldham you've got places like Glodick that was a feature of the riots that's traditionally Asian. You've got Fitton Hill that's similar area but traditionally white.
See, when you say traditionally, that's quite interesting. How far does this tradition of it being an Asian area go back? Is it what, about
till the
William the Conqueror
Brigade came in?
Oh God.
It's not.
All right, forget that. It was just a passing.
You've got to put them all together.
This whole thing isn't moving fast enough. Forget that. It was just a chance remark. Move on. Forget I said that. Go on.
The problem is you've got the PC Brigade, and this is my personal sort of ruckus with it all, if you like. You've got the PC Brigade that say, oh no, you can't ask anybody about the religion, you might cause offence. You can't get the George flag out, you might cause offence. You can't say, put the Asians with the white guys, or the blacks with the white guys, or the Asians with the black guys, because there might be a difference of opinion there, a difference of... You might cause offence to somebody. You're not allowed to do that. Very rarely have they ever come up with the same kind of attitude from the perceived ethnic minorities. Coloured guys, black guys, Asian guys, Muslims, Sikhs, Afro-Caribbeans, whatever religion, I've never really met anybody who's had a problem with me saying, sorry, I'm English, I like to fly the George flag, and I'm a white guy. You want to get the West Indian flag out come the cricket time, and yeah, all right, we'll have a ruckus, we'll have a laugh, but it's all over the cricket. We'll beat you, you'll beat us, yeah, you don't know how to play cricket, we know how to play cricket.
Yeah, I've got the picture. God blimey, Charlie, this is like reading from Roger's Thesaurus. Like,
Yeah,
I understand it. I understand it. So, listen, I take that point, and I quite understand. I don't mind when England are playing Pakistan. There's a test at Old Trafford, isn't there, this summer?
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah, against Pakistan. But when they get the Pakistani flags out, right? I don't care what have you, right? Where it does get serious, and we'll be talking about this tonight, 10 o'clock tonight, because of course we're approaching the first anniversary of the bombs in London last year, is when there is genuine divided loyalties. Now, this Muslim soldier that was killed the other day, day before yesterday.
Yeah.
Some of the papers were saying, right, here we are, this is, he was born in Pakistan, come to England, joins the British Army, and goes and gives his life in the British Army in Afghanistan. Now they're saying, right, great PR, great role model, pity somebody had to die, but at least it should dispel a lot of the reservations that white Christians have got about the Muslim role in British society. Unfortunately, within 24 hours, this dead soldier was being criticised for Muslims, by Muslims who were calling him a traitor to Islam for joining the British Army and going to Afghanistan.
The problem is
that is a problem. That is a problem.
There's 2 points, and part of it comes back to some of the things Chris was saying as the anonymous copper. The first thing is that some people wear things like a badge, and I'd love to know who it was, but somebody once said in a tolerant society, the one thing you should not tolerate is intolerance. So it's fine to have your opinions, but tolerate the other opinions. And as I say, I'd love to know who that was.
I think it might have been Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Thank you.
Might have been. Anyway, listen, you're as long-winded as he was. What's the matter with people? Why can't keep it bowling along? Can't we deal in concepts here? Where every time you say a word, why do you have to give us half a dozen synonyms for it? We've got there. It's 21 minutes past midnight. I'm going to tell you something in a minute.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103.
What is the longest toenail ever recorded? 1 meters 15, 3 miles, or 2 meters 21.
With stepping stones into work, don't let disability stop you working.
Floor Fillers Club Classics. The #1 album. 57 tracks on 3 CDs. 18 #1s. It's the only classics album you need. Floor Fillers Club Classics. Out now.
Oi, you lot done yet? Me and the girls are just putting the finishing touches to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre. Come on down and find out more about Rockwool Flexi, the fantastic multi-use insulation product with a unique flexible edge. You'll get a free bacon butty and a mug of tea just for turning up. And you can enter our lucky draw and win prizes worth a total of 15 grand. Can't be bad, can it?
Bill, we need you.
On my way. Oh, it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Get down to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
She just came in then with 7 seconds remaining and offered me a crisp. Yeah, why not a cream cracker? Why not 3 cream crackers? Wilma Willifit from Prestwich opines by email. James, did you know there's no such place as Denmark? It's just a popular rumour. What was I going to tell you? Right. Conkers are getting smaller because, these are fascinating facts, because of invasion by something or other moth. So if you notice, if your conkers are getting smaller, check them regularly. Maria Sharapova grunting. I quite like that, actually. In fact, anyway, never mind that. Nuno Valente, that's an extraordinary thing, because the Portuguese footballer called Nuno Valente, and that is, in actual fact, Portuguese for flying saucer. That's true. I brought in fact, let's get Stuart in Whitefield involved in this, because he likes a bit of banter, a bit of to and fro. You like a bit of to and fro, don't you, Stuart?
That's what I live for, James.
Yeah.
I've been in that shop, you know.
Which, oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not far, yeah, it's about halfway between us, that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit nearer me than you.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
But the shoes are fantastic.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they comfy?
Well, you can't walk far in them.
No, I know. Especially on cobbles. Right. Listen, this has been staring me in the... Do you know, I may have given the impression that I thought all the punters, all the Hillmans were a bunch of numbnuts. I'd like to slightly amend that, because at least one has got a bit of sense and the ability to be a little bit prescient. Not in the Gary Dakin class, obviously.
Well, quite.
No.
Who's Gary Dakin?
Hey?
Who's Gary Dakin?
He's our clairaudient, our psychic who predicted it would be a Brazil-Argentina final. So, this arrived on the, when was this? The 3rd of May. The 3rd of May. When there was a film on the television that day. The film, and you should know this.
Oh, I'll know this.
The film that was voted the best sporting film ever made
would have to be Escape to Victory.
Is the right answer.
Well, of course.
No, that's a fact.
Yeah.
And
doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Well, this message, I just came across this by accident in me backlog today, because I've got one.
Have you?
Yeah.
Is it near your bulging sack?
Yes, yeah, well, I'm emptying it now.
Oh,
Right. This is from Moira in Ancoats, and it was sent on the 3rd of May. And this could have saved us. This could have saved us on Saturday. James, you won't believe this. The Germans have just got a late penalty, and all that stands between us and certain defeat is...
Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone in goal!
Hey, I'm getting quite prescient now, aren't I?
And what does he do? What does Sylvester Stallone do?
Saves the penalty.
He saves the penalty! Bloody Robinson couldn't save them, could he?
The problem is, Sylvester Stallone is an American of Italian descent and probably wouldn't qualify for the England jersey.
Owen Hargreaves!
He is a Canadian of German extraction.
Yeah!
And probably Welsh, actually, with a name like that.
Yeah, anything'll do. We can fiddle it. We had Zola Budd over here in 5 minutes.
It's true, and we once had a player called Danny Murphy playing in the midfield for England. That doesn't sound like an English to me.
No, that's true.
But however...
Remember Dick Criswicki?
May I get to my point?
Used to play for West Brom. Yeah, well, yes.
Thanks.
Is this about women's clothing?
The police... No, it wasn't. I mean, I've done a bit in my time, yeah, but that's not why I rang.
Okay.
And if I were ever to dress in women's clothing again, the flouncy dresses, you know, I like the more sort of fetish wear.
Well, of course you do, yeah.
The rest of the mini, stocking suspenders, stilettos, that kind of thing, you know.
The trouble is, though,
Naughty Night Nurse or Wanton Schoolgirl, anything like that. That's my my type. But I'm not very feminine.
Well, what happens sometimes is it's like you don't want to be the first one to broach the subject, do you?
With whom?
Oh no! All right, okay. Forget that. forget.
Anyway, I didn't think about cross-dressing.
Okay.
It's only special occasions anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Going to see the Rocky Horror Show or whatever. That policeman who rang earlier.
Yes.
I was appalled.
Oh.
Well, for two reasons. Firstly,
what happened then?
What happened when?
There was just like a scream then. Are you okay? Have you had a visitation?
It's probably a squeak on the phone.
Okay. Carry on then.
Well,
God, this is awful.
Firstly, he said something about, you know, when this fella showed his text message to the senior officer couldn't be sure whether it was from Y Division or whatever it's called, you know. Now, I'm assuming that he knows the senior officer quite well, otherwise he wouldn't be showing him text messages. Yeah?
I see what you mean, yeah.
So, this senior officer would know it wasn't with the internal affairs people.
In other words, he would feel confident enough, he wouldn't walk up to an officer he didn't know and say, have you seen this?
You wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't walk up to any colleague and show them, you know, unless you knew them fairly well, show them something that could easily be offensive.
It's like when a taxi driver turns round to you.
Well, I'm a taxi driver, James. You know that, don't you?
Right. and says, yeah, well, you know, I'd send them all back where they came from. Stands to reason. And you think, oh no, this man is assuming that I am an ally of his.
It's funny how that works, though. I started taxi driving about 6 years ago, you know, and I was a liberal with, you know, Guardian reading, right on PC type of guy.
Yeah.
But you don't start taxi driving for long without becoming a reactionary bigot. You know, it just happens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was taking somebody earlier this evening, and there's some children playing out on the, do you know the Hillock Estate down in Whitefield?
I do, yeah.
And I was sort of saying, look at those kids, where's their bloody parent? I'm running about like that at this time of day. And I suddenly listened to myself, and I was like, you know, angry of Manchester.
Oh, that's common sense, that.
Yeah, but nonetheless, that's the kind of thing. You can't help it. Sooner or later, you come out with something that's...
All right, anyway, so you believe that the officer who received the message on his phone will have felt confident...
Yeah.
...in showing it to this other officer on the grounds that there was some empathy between them.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And absolutely, but that's not the problem. The problem is, the officer who rang you up, Chris... he was calling himself.
May or may not have been Chris. Oh, in fact, he wasn't.
That was the cleverest thing he did in the whole phone call. He couldn't complete a coherent sentence. I was thinking, you know, how is he supposed to make judgment? The fellow could, you know, was barely articulate. I couldn't believe it.
Well, you're making a comment on the, how long did he say he'd been a copper? 7 years?
7 years.
Yeah, you're making a comment on the apparent intellect of a police officer there. But one thing... he did appear, whatever his powers of expression might have been, he certainly did appear to be opposed to racism and realise the importance of having a neutral and impartial outlook on racial matters if you are a police officer, which is more, perhaps, than some of his colleagues have.
Oh, well, it's to be hoped all his colleagues have a reasonable outlook on these things. You know, we know it's not true, but we don't live in a perfect world. You will get racist, sexist, bigoted police officers, but you'll get racist, sexist, bigoted radio jocks and taxi drivers. You know, they will be there. You're not going to stamp it out entirely.
Strange picture you paint of the world. I've just remembered what all the fuss was about at GMP. It was the, and of course everybody's seen it. It was the Miss South Africa photo thing, wasn't it?
Oh, go on. Help me out.
Yeah, it's a gorilla in a swimsuit.
Oh dear.
Right? And it was sent, they were sending it round GMP.
Right.
That was one of them. That was something that caused a big kick-off there, I seem to remember. I mean, but then again, everybody's seen it. I've seen it. It wasn't really, it's not funny or clever.
Well, it's not clever because you don't get gorillas in South Africa. They're normally from the central areas, Rwanda.
Exactly. That was exactly the point that I made. I said that would be so funny.
Isn't it funny how racist stick?
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah. If he put Miss Democratic Republic of Congo, yes! That's funny! God's truth. Thank you. Hey, listen, I want to ask you something. You're the perfect man. I've been meaning to ask this for ages.
I'm the perfect man, Jim.
Right, well, you're not... Well, all right. I've been meaning to ask this for a long time, and I notice it every single night. And you are the perfect man to explain this.
Right. Yeah, go ahead, James. I've got passengers getting in now, but I'll continue to listen.
Right. Berry New Road.
Yes.
What is this? Are you driving the school bus?
Is it possible to come back after you drop them for another pickup?
Yep. Yes. I'm at a Jewish wedding in Prestwich collecting some passengers to go home.
Oh, right. Say, Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov, says James. They replied something Hebrew. But I don't know
right. I'll tell you what I noticed about Jewish weddings.
Go on.
Everybody eats all the time.
Yeah, because it's free.
They eat. Like, Christian weddings, you have the meal, get that out of the way as soon as possible, and then fire it down your neck. Right, you drink them for the rest of the night.
Well, no, you've got your cheesy buffet about 9 o'clock, haven't you?
No, you want to get rid of the vol au vents, get that sorted out, and then it's just beer after that, it's just drink. Jewish wedding, you have a meal, and then a little bit later you have another meal. And then about an hour later everyone has another meal, and then just before you go home everyone has a meal. It's
well,
ridiculous.
They do go on all day, you know. I've been taking people here at 5 o'clock this afternoon, and I'm still taking them home now.
I know, but they just have one meal after another. Anyway, listen, can you answer me this question? It's on taxi-related matters. Berry New Road.
Yep.
There's 2 lanes coming into town.
Yep.
And I'm talking about, like, past where that new casino was.
Yeah, 2 lanes there. One of them's a bus lane, obviously.
Yeah, 2 lanes coming into town, 1 lane going out.
Yeah.
During the day, it's a bus lane for buses and taxis.
Well, no, only taxis. I'm a private hire. We don't count as taxis, only black cabs.
All right, OK. So, the near side lanes, 7 till 10 and 4 till 7... Buses and taxis only in the near side lane.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Right. Now then, outside those hours, when you're coming into town, you see people going into the outside lane because they haven't bothered to read the sign.
Yep.
Okay.
It frustrates me quite a bit.
Right. Now, this is the interesting thing. Going home at night, the taxis that can use the near side lane any time they want, don't use it.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are not English readers.
Why do they do that?
Because I don't think they can read that tells you when you can use it. I don't think.
They can use that lane 24 hours a day.
Yes, they can. But they don't know that.
But they still insist. Oh no, they know to use it during the day. But at night, they insist on driving down the middle of the road.
Well, my only answer is I don't. I stay out the bus lane when it's a bus lane, and I go in it when it's not a bus lane.
Oh, you're too good to live. Are any of them shicker in the back there?
Any of them what?
Shicker.
Oh, no, I can't say that.
Ask them, anybody shicker in there?
I know what it means, James, and I'm not going to ask them.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your kind consideration, then. We're none the wiser. Might get a taxi driver ringing in about that. Can you... 2 things. I'd like to hear why you don't use a taxi lane when you're allowed to. And also, I'd be very interested to hear your views on immigration and hanging. Thank you, because I always enjoy that sort of thing. It's 25 to 1 on Key 103. James H. Reeve here. Is there anything else to do? We've still got a lot to get through, so should we make a start? Jackie's wiping her face.
Nobody trained you in how to be caring and sensitive, and you didn't go to lessons to learn how to be kind and organised, which is exactly why Bupa want you to join their team of telephone member service advisors. You'll provide professional care and support for customers, helping them to understand their policy details and potential treatment choices. For more info and details on how to apply, call Bupa now on 01908 356 540 or visit bupamembershiprecruitment.com.
Oi, you lot done yet? Me and the girls are just putting the finishing touches to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre. Come on down and find out more about Rockwool Flexi, the fantastic multi-use insulation product with a unique flexible edge. You'll get a free bacon butty and a mug of tea just for turning up. And you can enter our lucky draw and win prizes worth a total of 15 grand. Can't be bad, can it?
Bill, we need you.
On my way. Oh, it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Get down to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
There's a lot of very good, actually, I've just realised I shouldn't have said that. Despite my, this is difficult, this. Uncharacteristically, that's right, I reluctantly noticed that one or two of the far too many texts, that's good, this is going well, which have been sent in this evening, appear to be mildly funny, if you like. So here's one or two. Jane, if you want to go to Transformation, this is the shop which is round the corner from me. What you need is a pink poodle. I am sure my mum, who has the poodle parlour facing Heaton Park, will sort you out. I didn't know you were interested in that sort of thing. Dave, that's Dave in Stockport. I'm not. 23% of British men are, Dave. Right. Listen, you're the one whose mother's got a poodle parlour, so don't come that. Hi, James, I'd like breasts. They're lovely. Thank you. They're lovely. I'm not entertaining that remark about the pearl necklace. Brenda in Warrington says, you're lapsing into Arthur Askey mode again. Yeah, well, it's a pastiche. Okay? It's postmodern. James, there is nothing weird or odd about men wearing women's clothes in their own home. Where in the law does it state that women's clothes are for just women? Well, Miss Selfridge, certainly. You know, you wouldn't last long in there trying something on, would you? But, yeah, no, I didn't say there was. I've invited anyone who likes anything like that to contact us this evening, but it seems that in the northwest we're not as prone to that sort of thing. Call us repressed. Call us anything you want. Call me first thing in the morning. There you are. I can't do any more. Right. MT Vessel of Springfield says, James, please can you provide regular Big Brother updates for your thicker, celebrity-obsessed, shallow, ignorant, insipid, empty-headed listeners? Phew. I think we're down to single figures now. Not for me, because I'm dead clever, I am, and I have never and never will watch that rubbish. Especially now they've started introducing new people. Thanks. We cater for all tastes, don't we? Is there anything else funny going on here? See, where is she? Where's the desk when we need it? Oh, and Tony from New Moston, who you might remember, contacted our pretty infallible psychic medium, Gary Dakin, on Tuesday evening. He says, following my life-changing experience on your show yesterday with Gary, I have taken it upon myself to take his advice and make a life in the Czech Republic with my not mail-order bride, Theo. My flight leaves tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to Gary and wish you all the best of luck in the future. Keep up the good work. All right, there we are. So he's off to make a new home in the Czech Republic. I should keep watching the news if I were you. It's either going to be flooded or somebody will invade it. I'm on, just looking at past trends. Right. Thanks. We're going to talk to another police officer. What's going on here? Right. Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you what, it's different when you ring them, isn't it? We'll be with you in a minute. All of our operators are busy. Your crime is important to us, and we'll answer you as soon as possible.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103.
I think my dad might be getting an house bill for living here, just for living in this house, which is how crazy the world is.
With stepping stones into work, advice and support to help you back into work. Key 103's £25,000 triple play. The false alarms are over. We're not playing at it anymore. Next time we do it is for real. We'll give away £25,000 cash. We've logged the songs into the computer. The timer is running. The countdown is on. Very soon we'll play the Sugar Babes Push the Button, Madonna's Like a Prayer, and the Stereophonics Handbags and Glad Rags. When we do, we'll pay out £25,000. Key 103's £25,000 triple play. It's getting closer and closer.
Listen up. Screwfix Direct have just launched their brand new summer catalogue with thousands of new products and hundreds of amazing money-saving deals. The new Screwfix Trade Counter has thousands of products available to take away today, all at no-nonsense trade prices. So what are you waiting for? For screws, fixings, tools, plumbing and electrical products to bathrooms, kitchens and much more, it's got to be Screwfix Direct. Find everything from a screw to the kitchen sink at the new Screwfix Direct in Hague Avenue, Whitehall Industrial Estate, Stockport.
To get free broadband forever, just answer this simple question. Can you find your way to talktalk.co.uk? TalkTalk from the Carphone Warehouse will give you up to 8 meg broadband free forever with their Talk 3 international call package. So you'll never have to pay to use the internet again. Join up today at talktalk.co.uk. TalkTalk. Free forever. One-off connection fee, line rental, fair use, minimum contract, terms and conditions apply, subject to availability.
Oi, you lot done yet? Me and the girls are just putting the finishing touches to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre. Come on down and find out more about Rockwool Flexi, the fantastic multi-use insulation product with a unique flexible edge. You'll get a free bacon butty and a mug of tea just for turning up. And you can enter our lucky draw and win prizes worth a total of 15 grand. Can't be bad, can it?
Bill, we need you.
On my way. Oh, it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Get down to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre.
Can't wait to get on holiday. Cosmos has thousands of holidays ready to go. To book, call 0870 145 5000 or click cosmosholidays.co.uk. Go book it.
Why try to find your own job when you can put your CV on monster.co.uk? Every week, thousands of employers search Monster looking for the perfect candidate. Put your CV on monster.co.uk today.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Isn't it funny? You have an idea in your mind, you know, you think of setting a course for the evening, and it couldn't be more wrong. And then suddenly, this discussion about, it's all started off with the, did we mention it last night, didn't we?
Yeah.
This thing about the racist joke on the racist text message and what have you. And everyone's running with that. There's like a 24-hour delay built in, isn't there, for some reason? Anyway, Brian's in Wigan. You're on Key 103, Brian. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
All right. How are you?
Can we talk about hypocrisy?
Why?
Well, can you spell it? Because I can't.
Of
I know
course.
what it means, do you?
Of course I can spell it.
Go on, then.
Hypocrisy. I didn't Google it.
No. Okay, I'll go along with that. But, we talk about hypocrisy, don't we? Really, it's in the lap of the media when you talk about hypocrisy. The lies we've had about wars, and then we've got local media like your good self, and the rubbish you come out with. You dampen people down, you suppress people. And I
No, I don't, mate. No, listen.
Okay, then let me finish then. If you're not going to dampen me down.
No, I'm not.
We've got 1 million criminals running around in this country. Give me the phone number where I can ring now to contact anybody to say there's an illegal immigrant about.
I would imagine
and I use the word immigrant lightly.
You use it lightly?
Yeah.
What do you mean you use it lightly?
Well, it's a bit like, 13 cockle pickers, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, and a great more people, right, they're raping my heritage. But,
they're raping your heritage?
Exactly, yes. You don't think so, do you?
Well, I don't understand what it means. What do you mean you're...
Don't you? Well,
No.
what country are you from?
England.
England?
Yeah. Go on,
Yeah.
you must have heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
You don't sound English to me.
Do I not? Why?
Because you don't speak English.
Oh, I see. I'm dreadfully sorry. What is it then? Have I got an alien translation device fitted without knowing it?
It goes back to what I said before, hypocrisy.
Right, Brian, you're obviously very pleased that you can keep saying hypocrisy on the radio. But
you can spell it, can't you?
Yes,
if you
I
can spell it. Go on then, spell it.
I spelt it before. Nothing's changed. Now then, we've not had another vowel shift.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you've said hypocrisy a satisfactory number of times, would you like to explain what on earth you're talking about?
Well, you keep on telling people what dunderheads your listeners are.
Well, there's one or two, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
one or two.
no,
That's
not
what you said before. You said they were all dunderheads.
I'm not necessarily talking to one at the moment.
And you can't be contradicted, can you?
Rarely.
So therefore, who are you talking to? Yourself?
I'm absolutely...
Do you like that one?
You outfoxed me there, Brian. Oh, you turned the tables so neatly.
It's called the soft launch, isn't it?
Brian's an assumed name. You're actually Oscar Wilde reincarnated.
Does that bother you?
No, he's Sid James then. He does them all.
Yeah.
Do Lance Percival.
On the subject of Sid James, where's Reeves?
Wait, who's Reeves?
Your predecessor.
Pete Reeves? He's doing very nicely. He's teaching at Salford University now, and he's writing a few scripts for kids' TV series and that.
And what's Stanish doing?
Probably collecting pots now, I would think.
Well, you'll be joining soon, won't you?
You're unbeatable, you, Brian.
I know, yeah, I'm a cracker.
I've not laughed so much since Granny caught herself in the mangle.
Yeah. So how's he doing?
Did you actually...
You're not too big to speak to him, are you?
Too big to speak to? Probably, yeah, I would have thought so.
Why?
Why? That's just life, isn't it?
I don't know, he's sharp and you've got wit.
What did you say? Oh, look, let me... Listen, right, I understand that one
We're talking about hypocrisy, you know, you can smell it, can't you?
Oh, God, he is round the bend. You were right, Jackie, he is a nutter. You know, when you said, be careful with this one, I don't think he's quite right in the head. You
just made that up as you went along.
You've learned plenty.
Thinker.
You've not been here long, but you've learned to spot them.
Yeah, we spotted you.
Right. So anyway, apparently, it causes ructions in the regulatory department if you are in any way...
Who's this, your boss?
The regulators, you know, the people who run the industry, like who maintain...
The ones who pay your money. The ones who got you down as Quisling.
No, they don't pay anybody money.
They call you Quisling anyway, don't they?
No.
You know who Quisling was, don't you?
Yes.
He was a bit of a propagandist too.
Well, I'm not sure that he was, actually.
You should know.
Yeah, well, I do, you see, because I know a lot more than you. You thick gat who just comes on here saying hypocrisy and feeling pleased with himself. What are you talking about? Anyway.
Got you beat hands down, everyone.
Oh, absolutely, I'm tied in knots here. I can't think of a thing to say, apart from, although it lands you in serious trouble for taking the mickey out of Scousers, in your case, I'm prepared to risk it. In fact, I'll put towards the fine myself. Shut up, you goblet Scouse get! Thank you. It's 8 minutes to 1. Was that all right? Did I give him the right to reply? I thought that was fair, wasn't it? That was balanced. Right. Okie dokie. Hamilton Minge in Bagley says... That's a funny name, isn't it? Bagley. I was the model for the transformation advertisement with the working title, From He to She. I wore the jaunty bowler hat with basque. Right. Stuart says, I will send you a picture of me dressed as Frankenfurter. Oh, I really don't want to get... No, look, it was a simple sociological exercise. Dave from Upper Ramsbottom. Here is a very bad Brooklyn, not Brooklyn, a Brooklyn, New York piece of folk joke for you, James. Excuse me, sir. Have you just soiled your underpants? No, sir, I just bought them. I thank you. I thank you. Hang on. Soiled. Have you soiled your... It's terrible.
I just bought them.
Terrible.
I don't understand that
Have you soiled?
Sold.
Yes, Jackie, that's right. Decorator.
Decorator.
Yes, but that's not a name. That's not like a joke name. It's not like... It's not like Will Barrow. It's just... You might as well call yourself Roller Vlaino. It's just rubbish.
Painter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James, I'm sitting here in a woman's thong, a bra and nice high heels.
Whoa.
That's it. Right. Oh, I am a man. Oh. Thank you. Right. This is from somebody. I've just got the string off my conkers caught on the sequins on my evening gown. Can you give me some advice?
Be careful. Don't
very,
rush
very careful. Don't cut your conkers off.
No. Take your time.
Just in a random or...
Go to the loo. Get someone else to help you.
Or a thoughtless manner.
Yeah.
Well, he will, because if he goes to the toilet, obviously another woman will immediately appear.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's what happens.
Stick together, you know. Do you want a quick email?
Yeah, have we got a backlog?
Yeah, this is from Katie in Bolton. It says, "Hi James, now that the World Cup is down to the last two, are you going to give us your tips at last? If not, will you do it on Sunday night after the final? I just want to see if you get it right." Well, you'll get it right after the final, wouldn't you?
Yes. Well, I have to say, the last thing I thought was that I was in a pub the night France were playing. Who were they playing? Were they playing Togo or somewhere? Anyway, they played...
What, they've played loads of people?
No, but the last one in the group stage.
Oh, I don't know.
And you could tell everybody in the pub wanted France to get knocked out.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it was a distinct possibility. And it was like they...
Yeah, they didn't start off well, did they?
No, and their result depended... Whether they qualified depended on other people's results.
Right.
And they just squeaked in.
Squeaked?
Yes, it's a common expression.
Okay.
And they're probably going to win it now, aren't they?
Well, yeah.
But as I say, the Italians, they've got to win it, really.
Do you think they will, though?
Well, they've got to, because they might still be in nick for the next one. I'm going to put a photograph of the new the Italian team's hotel and put that on the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got France down. So who do you think will win it? The Italians?
Got your pants down?
No, France down.
That was a real 1950s joke, wasn't it? What did she say? She's got her pants down?
Right, listen.
Right.
Joel in Oldham, and Presswich, according to this, says, right, this has gone far enough. This criticism of Ronaldo has become a farcical. Let's remember what he actually...
A farcical?
Yeah.
Well, I could just eat one of those.
No, you're all thinking of popsicle, probably.
All right. What's a farcical, then?
Like a mess.
A farcical?
Yeah.
Right.
What?
It's not,
Oh, no.
an agricultural implement a long way away.
Farcical?
Should I use the near-sickle or the farcical?
Shut up. Let's remember what he actually did when, which was protest a foul. He didn't create a rigging to make Rooney...
A rigging?
This is what it says.
Is this from Long John Silver?
This is what it says.
This is preposterous.
To make Rooney kick Cavallo.
I know, they're both as bad as each other.
And we don't know what the wink was about. He's got more talent than any other Portugal player and any English player outside Rooney. He adds at the end.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't argue with the last bit. Anyway, I think it'd be a cracking idea if you shut your face now.
Got to go now, haven't we?
We certainly have. We certainly have. Oh, One more thing.
Oh.
Right. Tonight, we're on the eve of the anniversary of the 7th of July bombings last year. Obviously, it's 12 months ago, so naturally we'll be talking about that. And we'll do whatever else is necessary. An hour of non-stop music after the news, and then Matt Spokes through the night. Thank you.
The James H. Reeve phone-in.